We've already been streaming in our minds for the last 5 at least minutes.
Yes, exactly.
We thought that we were live, and it turned out we weren't.
Yep, but we were just practicing.
Just practice. Did it go okay?
Went all right. I didn't like the way it kind of started, but you know.
It was kind of a weird opening. That's true.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it.
All right,
this
we'll get it in
time,
post.
so.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to talk about up here. We're going to talk about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. We're going to talk about Dragon Ball Summit of Power voting. We're going to talk about some new events that have been announced. We're going to talk about some other news, including a new game that's been announced. But first, let's begin with BB Tag.
That's right. I personally haven't had a chance to play it all that much. I've only downloaded it on the Nintendo Switch because it's free there. I didn't have to pre-order it, and it was just convenient. I was just lying on the couch, and it's like, here we go. Unfortunately, playing fighting games on the Switch controller is not very good, especially because you have to kind of battle between analog and the 4 little buttons there, and the analog controller is really not that great.
I don't think it's a good controller overall.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the greatest thing, especially for fighting games. I remember when I tried playing Ultra Street Fighter 2, that just didn't work very well at all. Like, I couldn't do short super with Ken.
Oh, no way. No way.
Not on either of the controllers, right?
No way, dude, yeah.
So, you know, playing BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle was a little weird. I do have a PlayStation 4 converter thing that I just was too lazy to hook up at the time, but I haven't had a chance to mess with it. I went through the tutorial.
Okay.
And obviously used that as a training mode for a bunch of times. I did not know about the Yukiko tech yet.
What's the Yukiko tech?
So you play versus mode, and she has a move that can heal herself.
Oh, it's the healing. That makes
so
sense.
you just put yourself at infinite timer and 2-player mode, and you just sit there and heal her all day.
That's good tech. That's good tech.
You can use that as a fake training mode.
Okay.
So,
my training mode was to play against Tager and Wald, who have the most health in the game. So
okay.
But that's better for sure.
Yeah.
So I played a ton of it.
Okay.
I played it a lot. I was grinding it for sure, both in training mode and also on the internet. I played online a bunch. It's a demo. It's no longer, you can't play it online anymore.
Did they stop that already?
I mean, I tried
That's right,
yesterday.
It stopped today, yes.
I tried, really? Because I tried yesterday and it
Oh, really? Oh,
maybe it was just.
I thought it stopped today. Okay.
You might be right, but I signed on last night, all excited about playing, and I couldn't sign on. I was like, no! Anyway, so it was, as James said, free to try if you wanted to. But you could also just pre-order it, and if you pre-ordered it, then you got to use all of the characters that will be there at launch in the demo. So I pre-ordered it because I'm intending to play it anyway, but also I really wanted to play Tager, Walds, and New. And in order to do that, I had to pre-order the game.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
that was kind of my thought process, but I was pretty sure I would end up liking it, so I I did pre-order it on the PlayStation. I love it.
Okay.
To just boil it down to one little sentence, I really enjoy it. It has this excellent mix of a lot of the things that I want in a fighting game. It has very interesting characters to me, not just in how they look and their personality and whatever, which to me is secondary. Although I do think that they have that, but in terms of options, they picked a set of characters that I feel like they have really different options. They picked characters who have like some of the more wild options in their respective games, and so when you put them all together, I feel like they're like a really good cast. I really like the offensive and defensive options, both of them, because there are lots of offensive options. Like, it's really pretty crazy on offense, but at the same time, the push block is full screen. You are out of there for sure. Like, there's no more pressure.
And you can even punish whiffs too.
And you can punish it.
Right. Well, I mean, not even punish the push block.
I'm sorry.
Right. You can push someone away, and if they chain, they whiff, and then you can go and punish them.
That happened to me.
Oh,
so I was like, wow, all right.
Okay.
Definitely. There's a burst mechanic where you get out and you bring your second character in. So there are these defensive tools. At the same time, that offense is pretty wild. The way that the assist system works is to me a really good mix between, Marvel Infinite, where it's just constant switching, and maybe like a Marvel 3 where it's not constant. It's definitely an assist, not just like the next character, but you can and maybe even a little bit of Skullgirls in there because each character has multiple assists. So rather than having just like the one assist that you pick at the start of the round, it's like you actually have access to a few different tools from your assist character. And then once you do bring in the assist, you have the option of then canceling into that assist. So that now that's your point character. So there's this mix of, you know, it's definitely an assist, but you can turn it into the point super quickly. I really like that. I think that makes for a lot of crazy options, crazy setups, crazy movement. Speaking of movement, there's no regular walking with the exception of characters who, like Tigger walks.
Yeah.
Like,
there's just one forward movement option. You either walk or you dash, and most characters dash.
Most characters dash. Waldstein does have walk. And he dashes also. You have to input dash. But that's, as far as I can tell, only those weirdos. Right? In general, you're dashing or you're running or whatever it is. So that's a little bit funky. But other than that, you know, you got the air dashing. You have I like the way that the movement works because it's fast for everybody. They even sped up Tager's walk.
Right.
You know, he walks faster.
Even like, it doesn't even feel like the anime games that have the like, even though you can double jump and stuff like that, it still feels very horizontal.
I agree.
Right? Because like, I don't think the screen scrolls like that. I think
you're right.
I don't think it has that kind of stage height thing. It's just extra air movement options in a horizontal space, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I think the space kind of feels more like maybe Undernight space, where it's you're not like way up on the top of the screen. You do have air options, but it's like just the one kind of forward movement thing. It's definitely a mix of all of their games, you know, but at the same time, it's definitely Arxis' take on the Versus system. So, you know, when Dragon Ball was announced, I think a lot of people thought that would be Arxis' take on the Versus system, which it is in a sense. It certainly has assists, teammates, and stuff, but it's much less like a Marvel Infinite, and Dragon Ball is much less like a Marvel Infinite, and maybe more like a Marvel 2 or something like that. Whereas this game is a lot more like a mix of Marvel 3 and Marvel Infinite, I would say, in terms of its movement and wild options. It is definitely the crazier of the two games from Arxis. In fact, I read that players in Japan have kind of, you know, they think it's maybe a little too wild and that it won't be competitive because it's like so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely got that feel from it. Like, I've seen some tech that people have been finding already. It looks like one of those one reset you're dead kind of games situations, but I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like the degenerate factor of the game. I like the fact that it's so kind of nuts that way. That's what I came out of it, is that I could tell that this game is going to be kind of crazy because the options that you do have, like, you can tag it in so that, you know, you have that mode where you can use both characters, but if you hold the button, the other character doesn't move, but they're also invincible.
It's Soulstorm.
Right, but they're invincible, because in Soulstorm, you can still hit them.
Right.
But in this one, you can just leave them invincible, let your guy be a shield, and then all of a sudden let go and attack with the other one, and if people get good at that, I just feel like, I feel like this game just, it is kind of like some people in the chat were saying open world. Like, it kind of like it is an open world fighting game. And I like the degenerateness of it. Like, and I don't say that it's a negative word, but I don't mean it in a negative sense. Because MVC2 was kind of a degenerate game. MVCI is kind of a degenerate game.
There's no kind of about it. Those games get wild.
Exactly. So I like that kind of factor about it. In fact, that was what surprised me the most about it. I thought calling assist and being able to change into the point character was brilliant. Like, I love that stuff. I love that tagging is really fast. You know what I mean? I mean, and to be honest with you, this and MVCI kind of illustrate, I guess, one of the problems that I did have with Cross Tekken, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, is that Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I guess I wanted more of the ability to see character switching a lot more. And in that game, you couldn't do, it was so dangerous. Like, there was no such thing as a raw tag, because the guy would die, you know, no matter what. And so with a lot of these other games, even Dragon Ball, you're just switching all over the place. And that's kind of what I like about tag games. You know what I mean? I've always wanted tag games to be crazier, which is why when MVCI came out and you could do stuff like that, I was already on board, like, right from the get-go. And so seeing that BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle was like that, and that there's like 7 ways to switch and like all these options. I was actually excited about that.
Yeah, man.
Really cool. And I want to sit down and lab it. Like I said, I just haven't had a chance to. So,
dude, I came up with some, and I also saw from some other people on Twitter, some stupid Tager setups. So he has constant magnetism. The opponent's always magnetized. He doesn't need to set it up. So you just have the ability to suck people in at all times. And he has a gadget finger, of course, for the reset, restand people. So he has setups where you get a knockdown, you get a combo, and then you do gadget finger, and then you assist switch.
Right.
So as he is laying the opponent down into a restand situation, you're doing some stupid stuff with whatever secondary character you have.
They gave your characters a restand, which is like your favorite thing.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's like baked in,
Right.
So like the early obvious stuff is so nutty that it's definitely gonna get mega wild.
Crazier.
But we talked about the defensive stuff, and I think in a game where you have a burst that brings in the other character, I'm not that concerned about one touch. It's not one touch kills as far as I can tell, but one hit into a reset. That I think a lot of characters can probably kill. A lot of teams can probably kill. But that said, like the opponent's gonna have meter, or if they don't save it, that's their fault.
It's kind of like, again, like, sorry to keep making this comparison, but it's like the MVCI syndrome where it felt like, oh, look at all these high damage combos, but you always have the tag which forces the other guy to switch, and then all of a sudden you end the combo. So even though there's one touch reset situations in that game, you don't see it that often because of that. But so it's gonna be the same thing with cross tag battle. I will say the only thing that really confuses me is that for the longest of time, I thought the partner meter was my super meter, and that the super meter was the partner meter.
It's weird.
Because they put the partner meter as the little blue chunk at the bottom, and I was like, wait. But in my head, I was like, you know what? That kind of makes sense logically after I started learning the system, because that meter is more important. That meter is going to be way more important because that is your access to the burst mechanic. That is access to the ability to switch and call your
Soulstorm.
Call your teammates even during a combo. So when you're doing MVC, so it's not like MVC where you can just call the assist in the middle of stuff. That costs meter, right? So that meter is going to be more important, in my opinion, than the super meter.
Yeah, because you built meter, right? Super meter, pretty quickly. Pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
I really enjoyed playing Tager and Wald. They're two characters who I really enjoyed playing anyway in the games that they come from. But as a team, I think that they are strong and really interesting. I also really enjoyed playing New. She works out in a lot of the ways that I was hoping to. They gave her the assist that I'm happy about. They gave her like the sword approach, and they gave her gravity well, which are really, really good tools for helping the other character out. And I saw a lot of cool ideas playing online against people. Like people had really sick combos already using those two assists with New. I saw a lot of other characters out there, and it didn't seem like many of the characters were like wildly weaker in some way than other characters. I am a little bit worried about some. Because I feel like, the characters that they tended to pick, I think, for this game are characters who have some of the more wild options anyway in their respective games. So if you pick a character that doesn't have quite as wild options, I'm a little worried about some of those.
I'm sad that Hilda's not in it, to be honest with you.
Same. Because I really enjoyed Hilda. That's who I ended up playing mostly in Under Night, not even Wald. I ended up playing mostly Hilda. But that said, there's enough options for me to be happy anyway. Like there's enough like wild fill the screen characters that I'm all right. And if she was in there, I mean, like some characters I feel like they're not going to put in because they would be too wild unless they were toned down in some way. And Hilda, I think, is kind of one of them. Like, I'd be worried about having, like, Shadow Labrys in, because that way you kind of have 3 characters. Like, I feel like there's...
I don't even know how they would make you control her, to be honest with you. It'd be wild stuff.
Have to be very different, Yeah, like Arcune is a good example. Probably not going to be in there because he's just...
too crazy.
Having some of his options on assist is just, I don't know how you make that work. And they got rid of all of the little, like, character-specific meters that many characters in BlazBlue and so forth have. So for example, Tager has in BlazBlue a little meter that gives him access to Spark Bolt when it's full.
Some people are even talking about puppet characters like Carl.
Puppet characters,
Chaos.
exactly.
Exactly that. Those guys don't need to be in the game.
Right. Yeah. Same idea as with Shadow Harvest, right? So all the characters are just based on the 2 meters we talked about, which means that characters that are like Arakune, once he gets all the bugs out, he wins, right? So what do you have to change him drastically.
Right,
if you're not gonna have the bug meter, how do you make that work at all? So I don't think that it's gonna happen, but even without those characters, there's enough, in my view, interesting enough characters, really fantastic offensive and defensive options. I really like the neutral game. I'm sitting there with Wald with my big old buttons, but because they picked the characters that they picked, I still have to worry about being whiff punished. You know? So as strong as he is, and as other characters I think are, it's not perfect. It's not, no character is perfect, which is great. Even Gordo, he's filling the screen with just gigantic stuff.
Grim Reaper.
Yeah, imagine Grim Reaper plus assist call for safety, right? You just think about it, you're like, oh my god. But that said, because they have enough movement options, and because there's push block, and because your own characters have stupid stuff, that stuff kind of balances out. Tager's sledgehammer is an assist of his. He comes out and this guy, right? He has armor on it. If I thought that there was going to be a Gordo fill the screen with crap, I call my assist Tager to just bust through him.
Does it have infinite armor? Is it hyper armor?
I think it's like infinite guard point even. It's not actually armor. It's like KOF guard point.
Jesus.
So he's just in there, and then I tag cancel, and now I am Tager.
Right.
Right. So it's just so there's ways to get around the crazy crap. So I'm really excited for the game. I had a blast playing it. Even just a month ago, a week ago, I wasn't thinking about the game at all.
Right.
It was something that I knew would come out, and I thought it was kind of silly that it was getting more entrants at EVO than some other games, and I was like, Now I am super hyped for it, honestly.
That's cool. I mean, my biggest problem for me, and this is just a personal issue, there's 2 things that I'm really worried about the game, right? One is that, for me personally, this has nothing to do with anybody else or any quality of the game. None of the characters that I played are in the game.
Man, there's so many fun characters.
Somehow I got bodied in this situation. So I was just like, wait, what the heck? What the heck? Obviously, Under Night is the one that I played the most, because I barely played BlazBlue. I barely played Persona, right? I guess Naoto is in the game, and I did play a little bit of Naoto in there, but she didn't even end up playing how I wanted her to play. I wanted her to be new, shooting stuff all over the screen, which is not what she did.
Definitely not.
But Nanase obviously is not in there, and then in BlazBlue, Taokaka, Lychee, neither of them are in there, and so for some reason they just skipped all my characters. So I'm still trying to decide who I want to play, but it's probably going to be the one character that I really wanted to learn in BlazBlue was Hazama. So I might learn Hazama in this game, and then some rumored DLC characters look appealing to me if someone like Merkava ends up in the game, or because I want a Unio character on my team.
Okay.
But it's just Hyde.
Boring.
Boring. And Waldstein, I mean, he's
sick.
Carmine, maybe Carmine.
Happens.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a leak list of characters.
Right. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Aurier, I'm okay with Aurier. Gordo, Merkava, I mean, he's the cutest monster in all the fighting games.
Sick.
Yeah, Batista might be kind of interesting. Yuzuriha was a character I kind of wanted to use, so I might just check her out.
She could be really good. I could see her being good in this game.
Yeah, and then maybe Mika, as they said, but I like I said, I have no real association with that character. So.
Well, I think it's an interesting thing to say that we, who is this? Eric Man says that is kind of a blessing, because you don't have to worry about your muscle memory.
Yeah.
I just kind of briefly touched on it, but there are only 3 attack buttons.
Right.
Right? And so for games that have more attack buttons than that, you have to kind of get rid of some of your character's normals. So Tager doesn't have some of the same buttons. Waldstein doesn't have some of the same buttons. They don't have some of the same special moves that they used to have. Combo routes are all different.
Right.
There's a lot of really different stuff. And I, certainly for the first day I was playing, it was weird to try to anti-air with Tager to A this.
Oh, that's his anti-air move.
Now it's to A, right? It's just things that you know, you get used to, but it's not like you come into it thinking that it's going to work out like that. And for Tager, his stand B is now sledge, which is a special move before. Like, like it's not this big, you know, huge normal that it used to be. So it's very different.
Right.
I am not opposed to that. I'm cool with it being its own game. Like but it did take me a little while to get used to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of brought up the other concern that I have is, you know, one of the reasons why I had trouble playing Persona, just didn't feel like there was enough buttons. I just didn't feel like enough attack buttons. It was literally A, B, and then 2 Persona buttons, right? But still, at least, you know, once you started going, you had buttons and they were part of, you chained into them and stuff like that. Obviously, the one thing that I'm worried about personally about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is the smart combos. I'm just not a fan of it. Like, I don't like it.
Like just auto combos.
Yeah,
Are they called smart combos?
Yeah, they're called smart combos in the game. I'm not a fan of that stuff. I feel like that kind of detracts a little bit from the gameplay, and so many of the moves are hidden behind chains. You know what I mean? I already felt this kind of a problem a little bit with Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball definitely.
Right? Like, I feel like I'm missing normals. I need more normals sometimes, and that's another one of those situations that I haves or have-nots. If you're, you know, adult Gohan and your buttons just launch you clear across the screen, and then meanwhile you're Ginyu and you're just like, hi, I'm really sad.
And just doing some of these.
Yeah, exactly. You're just kind of sad, right? Yeah. So I just feel like, and just in general, like, I feel like that kind of takes away from the fun of doing stuff. Now, as I was playing it, I was still finding some interesting combos because they let you do cool things. Like with Ragnar, I was doing like A, B, B into the fireball, and they would bounce off it. Then you can do B, B into fireball again, and they'd bounce off of it. Then you could launch them with A, and go up the air combo and do the stuff. But like, even the air combos felt really limited. I didn't feel like there was really much I could do outside of A, B into like some finisher or something like that. And, you know, obviously it's going to change once you start learning how to throw the assists into everything.
For sure.
That's where the creativity is going to come from, is the assists. So the creativity on solo combos, I think, are going to not be particularly strong. But once you start getting into the tag, I think that's what really makes it interesting. That's what gets me excited.
That makes sense to me.
And, but again, just in terms of, I mean, you know how I am with the execution and stuff like that. So, you know, just having auto combos be the predominant. I mean, it's literally auto combo, auto combo, auto combo, auto combo.
I did find a tough walled combo, which was B, then crouching B. And the timing to actually get the crouching B to be a real combo is super tight.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I don't think that it's not no execution.
Right. It's less about the timing. It's just that because you have such a limited initial set of buttons, you don't get that kind of creativity that you get from other games. Like, oh, you know what? I need a faster move that hits in this direction.
For sure.
But in this game, you only have one fast button.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and then you only have one middle button, and then you have these crouching buttons, and that's it. But like in other games, like I have this, I have back this, I have forward this, I have offensive crouch this, I can have all these options. And so when you get into a combo situation where you're like, this is the button that I need, in a lot of other games you could find that button, and I don't think you're gonna do that in this one, but again, your solution is not find that button, your solution is tag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
go into the other character, find the right characters that will balance each other. And in a way, like I said, I think that's good because that emphasizes the teamwork.
Yeah.
You know, and that emphasizes the ability to have team synergy. Like this game, I feel like might have some of the best team synergy of them all.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball team synergy is like
exists, but
same thing with Cross Tekken. The team synergy is there, but it's not like crazy, right? But Marvel 3 had really good team synergy. I think MVCI has really good team synergy. But this game, I almost feel like this game will be like synergy up the butt. Like,
it's like
you gotta have the characters that will help each other really,
it's
really
like Marvel
well.
Infinite in that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I really feel that it's like a Marvel game, even in combos. I mean, if you think about a Marvel game, many characters' combos are auto combo launch, then you knock them down. Unless you have assists to do cool stuff.
Right.
I mean, some have others, you know, relaunches and I mean, that stuff exists for sure. But for many characters, it's the basic stuff. Unless you have a partner to help you out. So
except in MVCI, which kind of has the opposite problem, that everything works. and leads to 6,000 damage.
Well, yeah.
But that's a whole different story.
That's a different story.
So,
but yeah, anyway, I do think that it's very Marvel-y. I am super happy about it. I can't wait to play it more.
I was definitely much more surprised than I thought I was going to be. I had a lot of reservations going into the game that it was going to be super basic, kind of like, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but like SNK Heroines seems like it's going to be fairly simple, straightforward kind of game. I thought it was going to be kind of like that, like designed to be really simple. But then I just saw all the mechanics, all the tag stuff, all the crazy stuff, and I'm like, there's no way this game is being designed to be simple and straightforward. It's not a beginner-friendly, try to be beginner-friendly game.
It's definitely
because it is way too crazy.
Definitely
and
not.
Like I said, it will be, and again, in the most positive way possible, it will be a degenerate kind of game, and that will never be very beginner-friendly.
Yeah, and maybe not as popular as some other games, but that's the kind of that I feel like I've been missing. Like I was just talking about this last week, how I've really been missing playing Marvel Infinite. I really like the game, and so I went home and I did play a bunch of Marvel Infinite. Well, in training mode at least. Nobody was on ranked, and my friends can't play in the morning when I have time to play. So it just didn't work out. But it was super fun just to be in training mode. And then BlazBlue.
Oh, the game has no cross-up protection, huh? Dang. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, here's a cool thing. I harassed somebody so badly in neutral with Wald and Tager, because Tager as assist is just throwing spark bolts. Like it's crazy, dude. There is a lot of startup on it.
It gives you a fireball, big.
It's a wall bounce fireball from anywhere that busts through projectiles. It's crazy.
It beats other projectiles.
Yeah, okay, and by the way, Wald, this thing also beats projectiles. So you can't zone me. Anyway, so I harassed somebody so badly that they sat still as I did assist call with Tager to bring out Sparkbolt, and I did super jump air dash with Wald, and I got cross up Sparkbolt in mid screen with no setup at all. They were just I'm worried, and then I was like this big, huge dude floating overhead. Oh, it was so sick. What a feeling. And
that is why, like I said, when I played the game, I got really excited about it, because it feels like the ability, and this is, I'm just going to say it, the craziness, the wildness to it, the tag system, all that stuff, feels like the game is going to be very creative.
Yes.
And it's going to be very sick.
Yes. As I said on the Facebook, I have been saying these exact words about the game in public on Twitter.
Okay.
Saying almost verbatim what I said about Marvel Infinite. In fact, I literally looked up a tweet that I said about Marvel Infinite. Back from when it was shown, and I was saying things like, oh wow, it's super creative and very free. And I almost word for word reproduced that tweet about this game, and I got none of the crap. I got none of the flack. Those are both... Really? No way! Those are sincerely held beliefs about both games. I really like both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see how BlazBlue ends up. I mean, obviously, it's not full out. We'll see what the final release is.
Right.
But as it is, I really like it for almost exactly the same reasons.
Dude, it's creative and it's sick. It is.
It is. It's, by the way, has character art from 2008 in there. It's very clashing art, right? Like, Ragna doesn't look like you at all. Like, they're, you know what I mean? Like, even though they're both main character sword guy, they just are clearly not from the same game.
Right.
So graphically, it is no tour de force, friends.
Right.
But, hey, there's none of the crap about it. So it's just, man, poor Marvel.
Yeah.
Poor Marvel.
Pretty much. It's just at that point in time, yeah, dude. Let's be arcs as shills. Someone already called me a shill for promoting Unist.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're getting a ton of money from Under Night in Birth EXE latest.
I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. Someone called me a shill for telling people to buy Unist. And so now we can just keep it going. We can be the arcs. Dude, I've been shilling Guilty Gear for years now.
That's true.
Right, so that's it. We're official Arxis Shields, and you know what? I could not be more proud to be an Arxis Shield. I will say that much.
It's a really good game.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I do hope that there will be. Sorry, Mike. This headphone cable is tied up in all of my stuff, which is why I'm looking down. Ugh. But like, I'm really excited for this game, and I do hope that they maybe tone down the damage a little bit. Like, I think this game would be pretty sick I think this game would be more sick and creative if the damage was lower because of just how degenerate it might get, and so that way you can pull off like 5 degenerate things per round. I think that would be fun.
All right.
You know what I mean? Just like leave the game, like instead of toning the characters down, give people more health, so that you could do more sick and degenerate things more often in one round, and then have it just go like that. You know, I think that would be a fun way to do that.
That makes sense. I'm not opposed to the damage. I think it's okay, again, considering that there's a burst basically, and it's not like tied to a very slow meter kind of thing. It's like a your little
how fast does that partner meter build?
I mean, it's not mega fast, but like I've gotten it 3 times in a round. You know, I mean, it's doable. There's everybody has a DP. Right? It's just A plus D.
Right. It's Persona style.
Right. There's no motion to it. And Waldstein's is half screen. I'm just doing it, dude.
You said that's the new opening.
Clapping.
That's the new opening, right?
It was working on day 1.
Okay.
By day 2, it already wasn't working.
Right. Well, here's another question, though. How, like, again, everybody mad at MVCI for no uppercut motions in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, has that bothered you at all?
Oh, I don't care either way. You know,
right.
It doesn't matter. It is like Persona. It's like Dragon Ball. Like that's the way that. It's more common nowadays.
Right.
And who cares?
And it's so funny too, because I still think down is a worse motion
I don't like it.
than uppercut.
Yeah.
So it's so weird, but. It's in all the games now. It's in Unio. But then again, Unio uses down because they run out of inputs. Like, because everybody just says ABC. So you have quarter circle forward, quarter circle back, uppercut, and down for most of the characters.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I also really like that when you do a DP, you can't burst out of the combo.
Oh yeah. Because that.
Nice.
That's. Oh wait, when you hit someone with the DP.
If you do a DP and it's blocked and you get punished, you're stuck. That character's eating the damage. That's the high stakes game, dude. And
but that's cheap though. I think having invincible DPs ruins the game. You know, because just having it makes you so scared to do anything whenever I attack you DP and whenever I don't attack you don't DP. So broken.
Oh my gosh.
Even though you can punish them and kill them for that, invincible DPs, so broken.
You sure can.
Worst thing everybody. I don't know how everybody's dealt with it for 25 years.
Well, you know what? They're going to have to deal with it in this game too. I also like that when you call an assist, assists take a ton of damage when they get hit. Like they really get their butts kicked. And happy birthdays are very easy to maintain.
Yeah. It's not like Dragon Ball where they just fall out randomly.
Not at all. So if I got too happy with calling Sparkbolt assist, Tager died like a lot.
Oh really?
A lot.
Oh okay.
So,
even Tager
with all of his health. So
okay,
I mean, obviously that means I have to play differently. I can't just be doing Sparkbolt constantly. Fair enough. It's pretty good. But it does mean that there's a lot of risk to a lot of things, and as strong as the options are, you do have to worry about the downside. So I'd really like the balancing of it.
Yeah. Again, it's another one of those games that just feels like they've done a lot of good thinking about how to make the balance work in this game through the game systems. It's what I love about Unio so much, Unist, right? I just feel like the game did such a good job with the systems. Enough offensive systems, enough negative systems. I mean, I know we're talking about MVCI and Street Fighter in jokey ways, but Street Fighter 5 could certainly use a new defensive mechanic. MVCI maybe could probably use at least one more defensive mechanic, kind of situation. And that's what's good about this, is I do like the fact that it's a good resource management. And that's another aspect of one of my favorite aspects of fighting games is resource management. And so, if you use the burst or if you use push block, you got to think about the meter that you're using and how it could have been used in other ways. And they give you enough things to do with the meter that it's like MK style, like MK, how the meter management was super important in that game. it's one of my favorite things about the NRS games is the meter management is like one of the most interesting meter managements of fighting games. So.
Agreed, man. Yeah, of course there's a bug. It's just a beta demo thing. I'm not too worried about that stuff. It's
bugs
whatever.
Or whatever, yeah. And you know what? Even when the game comes out, there will be bugs.
There will be bugs.
And they will find the bugs, and it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they're bad devs or that they didn't test the game. You make a fighting game, and you tell me if you could make the game without bugs. When you have 30 characters with all these crazy moves and interactions, it's like people who've never programmed just don't understand why these things can happen. So bugs will be there. Trust me.
Yeah, it's all
They're just going to be there.
Anyway, great game. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it coming out. It comes out in the US on, I think, June 5th, and I think in Japan on May 30th.
Okay. I'm actually more excited for EVO's BlazBlue tag, cross tag battle now that I've played the game.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Because I want to see the crazy stuff.
It's going to be crazy. And
I want to see it so badly now.
Yeah. Like, especially, so I briefly touched on the fact that people in Japan are kind of poo-pooing the game a little bit, thinking that it's kusoge and it's whatever.
Right, yeah.
That's fine. Like, you know, I mean, Marvel, I feel like Marvel players will really enjoy it. And players, I mean, there is crossover already between anime games and Marvel games. Like, there's already some crossover. But I feel like this is the kind of game that should get a lot of crossover even more.
And even as kusoge as it is, it's nothing like fighting EX Layer. Like that game,
different story.
Right.
Sure.
Fighting EX Layer is about as kusoge as you could possibly get, right? But this game, I don't even think is on that level. So, okay. Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's cool.
Yeah.
Talk about it more when it comes out, I mean,
it's still, I don't know. Are they going to like delete it off my machine, or can I still always just play it, right? So I can still play it. So I'm probably just going to, at one point in time, hook up my pad on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do the 2-player thing with Yukiko because I don't think that's allowed on the Switch demo. I don't think you can do versus mode on the Switch demo.
Wow, okay.
And again, this is something I tweeted about, and I get it. They're trying to test the servers.
Yeah.
But I just don't get why they don't put training modes in demos. It's just like how you are going to hook your core audience that much better, right? Without detracting from the casual audience, because the casual audience is still going to be able to play it the same way, and you're going to hook your core audience. The question is, are they worried that people are going to find broken tactics and just already be on this demo destroying people and making people feel bad? Because that's happening anyway.
It's happening anyway.
And two, I'm spending all of my time in the tutorial anyway, so I'm not testing online anyway. You know what I mean? Because I just want to test things.
Yeah.
So, you know, Exer's demo had training modes, and that thing was fantastic.
That's good.
Street Fighter V didn't have a training mode.
Right.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite didn't have a training mode.
Street Fighter V didn't even have versus mode, right? Wasn't it only online in the betas?
Yeah, it was only online. So, like, I get it. I understand why they don't have training modes, but God, just forget it. Just put it in there because everyone's going to figure out a way.
I agree, man.
Yukiko sitting there healing herself all day. You know what I mean? So, because someone even released a video how they showed that you could like use the accessibility options and turn the second controller into a pedal with the touchpad. And I never understood what the point of that was. I was like, why would you want to do that? Until I learned about the Yukiko trick. And so you could just hit it with your foot and give her all her health back and then keep fighting and then hit it with your foot and stuff. Just like genius.
That makes a lot of sense.
Genius.
Yeah. Some people wanted us to talk about the online system. Yeah, it's basically the Dragon Ball system, which is, I don't know, is that the same that Guilty Gear is? I never played Guilty Gear online, and I played only a little bit of BlazBlue online.
Guilty Gear is a little different. You don't do anything in that actual lobby area. When you play against someone, you actually have to go and create rooms.
Okay.
And then there's a small room with little arcade machines, and the little guys can run around and kick a soccer ball around and stuff like that. Are those
private lobbies versus public lobbies? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, they can be private lobbies. I think you can also set up so anybody can join as well. So,
but it's not like you need to sign into a room that only has 64 maximum people.
You do. You still have that.
It's
still that way. It is still that way. Although, if you do ranked, they avoid that. They ignore the 64 rooms in ranked mode.
Yeah.
You can end up fighting anybody anywhere. But if it's just casual lobbies, you can only play the people that are in that server.
Terrible system.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either.
I feel like it's built. I feel like the people who made that expected nobody to play their game. Like they expected the system to be so unpopular that the fact that there were only 64 people who could be online wasn't the problem.
Right.
I hate it. I hate it in Dragon Ball.
I mean, I like the idea of it. I love the visual lobbies. I love the concept of it. I just don't like the implementation of it. I don't like the limited to 64 people in one server kind of thing. But that's a problem because you have to limit it that way if you have the visual thing, because otherwise you'll have 500 people wandering around. It's just gonna be
like when you're in the lobby. You actually stand physically. Your little dude stands physically on top of a little versus area, and somebody else has to physically walk into it and challenge you.
So it's kind of like a combination between the Dragon Ball and the Guilty Gear Small Room, because the Guilty Gear Small Room you had to walk up to an arcade cabinet to actually challenge somebody. It's
such a dumb idea. It's like anyway. I have nothing. I have very little positive to say about the online experience.
Right.
That said, when I played against people online, I played against people with 2 and 3 bar connections, and it was actually okay.
Okay,
That's not to say that it is for everybody. I know that that's been the case for Dragon Ball, for example, that people have wildly different experiences with it. For me, it tends to be okay. And for me, again, in BlazBlue Cross Tag, it tended to be okay. But it's certainly not great netcode.
Yeah, it's not an archaic idea because it's new.
It's just a bad idea.
It's not really archaic. It's just not very good. So yeah, it's an unfortunate situation because then that way you don't have access to the world of everybody playing the game. You only have access to those 64 people.
That's
in
it.
Your room. Yeah.
And somebody, like, you know, you're in there with a character. So like I'm standing on that little thing with my Ragna for a while, and then I got enough money to buy, you know, Tager and whatever. And so I'm this huge Tager standing on a thing, announcing to everybody, I'm gonna play Tager. Hey, check it out. If you don't want to play against me, and you're probably not gonna, then walk away.
Well, see, that's why you got to put him back to Ragnar.
I guess I will. I just think that's
like in Dragon Ball. I run around as Chaozu, dude. I'm
Cyberman.
I'm just running around as Chaozu. So. Man.
Anyway.
Yeah, and again, one of the biggest problems, obviously, is that ArcSys is still developing their online based on Japanese infrastructure, based off of a smaller country, based off of actual decent internet infrastructure, and that's always going to be a problem. So,
yeah, we live in California. I had good connections, but I'm sure that's not the case for many, many people.
Exactly.
Alrighty, I guess that's about it for BB Tag. I really liked it, but we'll talk about it more when it comes out in about a month, a little bit less than a month.
Exactly. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to try and mess with it a little bit more.
Half a month.
And we'll see how it goes. So I just got to figure out a way to mess with new characters and not in a versus mode. I wonder if there's a way to set the computer to like be completely stupid and sit there and not and just stand there and not attack or something like that.
I don't know, man.
We'll see. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's right. And they said that there was going to be a demo where they were going to open up training mode, I thought, or something like that. But I'm not sure. So.
All right. Well, we should move on. We spent a lot of time on this.
Okay.
It's a good game, though.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Do you want to do a break, or do you want to just talk about the Summit of Power thing right now?
Yeah, let's take a break, and then we'll talk about other events after that.
Okay. All right. Cool. We'll be right back, guys. No. I'm talking about Unist, Seth. Unist, Seth.
Under Night. All right, so what are we talking about now? We could talk about the Summit of Power.
We could talk about the current results, but some people have mentioned to us on social media that they would like to have us talk about the voting system.
I think that is a good thing to do. Yeah. So for the voting, I was just looking it up. Top 2 players invited, bottom 2 players eliminated. Coming up are, looks like Moke and Super Noon are at risk for elimination.
Okay.
And
who are the ones that have qualified?
So the Kill Sage is definitely in. Lord Knight is in. Cloud 805 is in.
Okay.
And then you got Yohozi and Beyond Toxin in current first and second places for the next one in there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so already eliminated include Kizzy K, King Blue River, Record Dave, Doza, White Black, Timo, Lost Soul. You know, there's some good players who are already gone. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wanted us to talk about this a little bit because of what happened in the last stage of voting, which was the Kill Sage was not in first place at that time. Cloud 805 was already in. This was the second stage, if I'm not mistaken. And he was not in first place. But then, look, I've been a full praiser of sniping in eBay.
Right.
For this very reason.
Right.
This is exactly why sniping in eBay works and why 100% you should always snipe.
Right.
If you do not snipe in eBay, you are doing eBay incorrectly.
It's the wrong game.
Yeah,
you're playing
you
the game
are
wrong.
absolutely doing everything wrong because nobody ever puts in the true amount of money that they're actually willing to spend. Because if they put in $60 and then they're outbid, they're like, 65, and then they're outbid, 70. So nobody actually puts in what they're actually willing to spend. So you wait until the last second so you don't give people a chance to actually put in what they want to spend, right? And that's exactly what's happening with the Summit of Power here.
Yeah.
So to Kill Sage was not in first place. The people who were in first place were probably feeling comfortable. Then all of a sudden at the very last second, Sonic Fox is like, ooh, right? Slid a bunch of cash in there.
Well, we should discuss how the votes actually are done.
Okay, go ahead.
So 15 votes for subscribing to Beyond the Summit. Beyond that, 5 votes for your first purchase of items on their shop. 2 votes for every $1 spent. Extra 25 votes per every $50 spent. And there you go. So it's you get a certain amount of votes just for like subscribing and being there.
Right.
But beyond that, if you want to vote, you got to spend the dough. You have to buy stuff.
And Sonic Fox did that.
And he did that to the tune of, what was it,
1,000.
$1,500, something like that?
Yeah, it was like $1,500. So
Yeah.
So
$1,250.
again, I'm not super opposed to this system of voting.
The things you can get are like a little Beyond the Summit wristband. You can get some sunglasses. You can get a hat. You can get some shirts. Looks like there's a poster there, some hoodies, attend the Summit of Power, you know, a signed Summit of Power trophy. So there's stuff. It's not like they're just selling like IOUs or something. Like you get things.
It's not redemption prizes.
It's not redemption prizes, no.
How many tickets can dude, I worked at the UCLA arcade one time and some kid walked up to me with like 500 tickets or something, and it was like 2 tickets for a lollipop or something like that.
Okay.
And he looked at all the prizes like, can I just get 250 lollipops?
Genius.
And I was like, holy crap. And so basically I had to sit there and count out.
That's
like,
what a genius kid.
Dude, that made his prize last a long
way smarter than
uh-huh.
getting like the little novelty eraser that you affix to the end of your pencil. Remember those things?
Yeah. Who uses pencils anymore? Jesus.
Yeah, is that a dated reference?
Yeah, probably. I don't even know if people know about those things anymore.
Do pencils exist nowadays? I don't know.
Yeah. But like, again, I'm not opposed to the voting system because when it comes to cold hard cash, it's the hardest way to fake because it's an actual resource that people don't want to give up.
Yeah.
You know, through any other system, like, hey, limit it to 1 per email, 1 vote per email. Well, I can easily forge a bunch of emails on Google and then set a bunch of... It's the same thing that happened with the Evo drives, right? A lot of people were like, I hate the Evo drives. They shouldn't do it by money. They should do it a different way. And I'm like, all right, how should they do it? And they're like, do it like this. I'm like, it's not going to work because of this. And they're like, okay, well, do it like this. Not going to work because of this. And they're like, well... They should just do it that way because, like, nobody could say what the better way to do it was. And so I don't think that there was necessarily a better way to do the Summit of Power voting without doing cash, and it helps fund their event, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sure that's the bigger reason.
Right, that's the bigger reason. I mean, because the Evo one, they even just donated it to charity, right? So they didn't even have it help their event. However, at least this, because like 2 Evo votes ago, you know, Smash Brothers did the same thing. Last second, here's a bunch of money. We beat Skullgirls. Woo! Right. Didn't give Skullgirls any time to respond to that. The last voting I was more okay with because Evo put in a specific policy that they would be very keen to look out for company donations. Like NRS couldn't just be like, here's $10,000 for Mortal Kombat, right? Honestly, I think that there should have been something in the Summit of Power that prevented like teammates or that kind of thing happening. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the right... Again, I don't even know what the right answer is, right?
You know, I really feel that it's just about money, primarily. But there's probably some degree where it's about trying to find people, trying to find a way to prevent Saying fraud sounds so silly in this instance that I don't even know if I can take that seriously. Like, oh, somebody wants to vote for their boy 5 times. Like which system do you think is more abusable? The one where you have to go through the process, not more abusable, more likely to be abused.
Okay.
This one where moneybags can come in and get whoever they want in there, or one where you have to you do have to create 30 email addresses. Like, you can do that, but I suspect that money is probably more abusable than more likely to be abused than that system.
Well, the biggest concern for that is that it's abusable by only a very few select people too.
For money.
Right. Yeah. So it just depends. You basically have turned it so the people who have the money are the ones who get to decide. Exactly right. Right, so it is an issue.
Yeah,
it is an issue.
I mean, I don't like it. I think it sucks. I also think that it really reminds me of those websites that where you bid on things, but they're non-refundable bids. So you look at like a TV is like $10, right? So you bid, cool, $10 for a TV. That sounds super cheap. You pay $10. That $10 is now lost, and when somebody then bids $11. They are giving that $11 to the site also regardless. Somebody else comes in and gives $12. Like, that's how these sites work.
I didn't know that's because I've seen those commercials. They're like, I got this TV for only, $47.
Exactly. Which is real for them. That actually, the TV, but who knows how much money they spent otherwise.
Getting it.
Like, or how did they spend 30, 32, 34, 36, 38. Did they spend all of that money getting there?
And not only that, but how many people ended up paying for getting nothing?
Exactly. A lot. Almost everybody.
Dude, I had no idea that's how that works.
They're basically big scams.
Okay.
I mean, if you find the right thing, then it can be useful for you, but they're basically scams. That's kind of what it reminds me of. You're spending money to support. I mean, maybe you really want a hat or whatever, but barring that, you're spending money to pay to get your friend in there or somebody you like to watch in there, and your say in it is very small compared to Sonic Fox putting in $12.50. Like, you might as well not have bothered.
Right.
So I that if it were just you put an email in, but somebody else did the work to create and send 30 emails, I don't feel like I've lost that much. My email didn't work out, but if I instead put like $50 in, let's get my dude in there. Now I feel like, wow, I wasted $50.
Right.
That could have been a video game or whatever. So,
I mean, to be fair, creating 30 emails and doing that is also kind of a have not kind of thing, because there are definitely people who could do that in like 5 minutes just through automation.
Fair
enough. I mean, they could just run an automation overnight and it's just be like, hey, all of a sudden there's like 10,000 votes in there, right? So,
ABCD, send an email, ABCDE, send an email, right?
Like, exactly.
But,
GUID generator at yahoo.com, boom.
Right.
Go.
But that said, the person who just sent one email, they're out the 2 minutes of an email not. So
exactly. They didn't lose anything.
I'm not super happy with it. I know that this is something that the Smash scene has been talking about for a while, because that's how it goes.
Because they've been doing it for their Beyond the Summit for a long time, right?
Yeah. So I'm a little worried about it. I really wish that maybe there were caps on what you could spend, it's a business. I get it. You wanted money. Okay,
yeah, but if you put caps on there, I mean, caps limited to what? Emails? Then we're back to that again.
No, maybe money, but maybe the cap is $50 or $100.
Well, that's what I mean. But what's the limit? How do you know that it's not the same person?
They have two.
Yeah,
they have two credit cards or something.
Right.
I guess.
So that's the problem, right?
It adds a barrier to nonsense. Maybe not a huge barrier, but there's a barrier at least.
Yeah.
And it's not only financial anymore. So that's my concern. That said, within the context of the system, hey, spend your cash if you got it, I mean, that's how it is.
If you're Sonic Fox and you've already made $500,000 on video games, if you can afford $1,000
is something is a rounding error for you.
Right. And to give back to your community in the way that you want it. Because he could just be a fan too with the ton of money.
Definitely is.
Right. And he's like, hey, Tequila Sage is my friend.
Yeah.
I really want to see him in there.
Yeah. So
There you go.
I don't love it, but well, I mean, more accurately, I think it sucks. But I would like to see it changed. But the current system is the system it is, and that's like legal within it. But I would much rather see the system changed.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the future.
But as it stands right now, we have 3 people who are officially in. You said was
Yeah, voted in are To Kill Sage, looks like Lord Knight, so this is official now, and Cloud 805.
okay. So those 3 are in, and there's 4 left.
4 left.
And how many make it in?
2.
So 2 make it in and 2 go out. Then.
So, correct.
So right now it seems like the NRS community is really supporting Beyond Toxin.
So here are the vote tallies. With 12,036 is Yohosi, first place. 11,578, not far behind, is Beyond Toxin. 10,996, not very far behind at all, is Pono Smoke.
Okay.
And then 4th place is Super Noon at 7,195. So unless he's holding out for the big old eBay snipe, he might not make it.
Oh, that makes me sad. Super Noon is really, really wish the guy that I would love to get in there, obviously. So Super Noon, I think, because I mean, I'm glad Cloud 805 made it. Right,
Sure.
so we got one SoCal representative in there, but I just feel like Super Noon has been doing so well.
Yes.
He's just not as well known as a lot of the other players.
Yeah.
Cloud 805 much more known.
Sure, he's been around for
Hosie's
longer.
been doing a great job with online content, so
True.
she's gotten a lot of DBFZ followers and such. You
True.
know, Beyond Toxin has the whole NRS community behind him
Right.
at this point in time.
And has been getting 3rd and 4th place.
Right,
at the majors, so.
exactly. So
The 10 invited players, people who are already definitely going to be there. Nakil, Chris G, Hook Gang God, Goichi, Apology Man, Kazunoko, Dogura, Reynold, Sonic Fox, and Leffen. So those are good players.
none of those people anyone's going to complain about.
Of course.
You know, those guys all deserve to be in there. So well, 2 of them weren't invited. 2 of them
They qualified.
Qualified, Hook Gang God and Reynold.
Yeah.
And dude, you know, I'm so happy about Reynold being there. So, you know, that's another SoCal rep, so that's good there too.
Yeah, man. No, it's definitely going to be a good event.
And again, just looking at that list right there that you said, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why Beyond Toxin I feel like kind of has to make it, like, because then we would have an NRS representative in there. Because we already have representatives from like all the other games. We've got the Smash Brothers rep. We've got all the, you know, again, Dragon Ball doing a great job uniting people from all sorts of different communities. So
it definitely does that well.
KOF Reynolds, yep.
That guy. He's just a really strong player at fighting games in general.
Dude,
I played him in SF4 sometimes. He's really good.
Remember, he was one of the best at a Rising Thunder.
He was really good at Rising Thunder,
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and he's a talented player.
Sonic Fox is barely NRS, dude. Sonic Fox is just everything.
Man. Yeah, that's
He's like Chris G.
He's like Chris
those
G.
2, you can't really say they come from any
Chris
particular
G's first
scene.
top 8 at EVO was NRS.
It's right.
It was MK9.
Yeah,
But nobody thinks of him like that because he's been so good. Not at MK9 and Injustice 1, but then also at, you know, Street Fighter, Marvel, everything. He's won everything. So
Right, exactly. So there you go.
it's the same way.
Yeah, Chris G. Yeah, I mean, some people would call him Marvel at this point.
Would you?
because,
I guess.
I mean, that's what people would mistakenly do.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the right choice, to be honest.
He won 3rd Strike Major with 12 recently.
Wasn't that the one that he beat Sanchez in?
It was the one he beat Sanchez.
Okay,
Yeah. Wow, it was tough to watch. Anything else to talk about on this subject? I should say that voting ends at 2 p.m. on the 16th, which is in our time tomorrow. 2 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, that's our time is the time that matters. It's going to be 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay. Which day? Tomorrow it ends, huh?
I don't care where you're living. I'm talking about tomorrow in relevant time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel bad for Super Noon though. I mean, unless someone's gonna snipe, unless like Snake Tits is like, here you go.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think we have a Sonic Fox here in SoCal, do we?
We'll see.
Oh man.
All right. Well,
DR Snake Tits might be the closest thing. He is a doctor, right? I think he is.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but okay. All right. No, I mean, honestly, if you guys don't know anything about sniping and eBay and stuff like that, and I've had to talk to people about it plenty of times. They're like, I don't snipe. That's useless. And I'm like, dude, let me explain to you.
Dang.
Like, if you ever have used eBay and you do not snipe, you are an idiot. I will explain to you exactly how sniping works if you ever need me to. So, Oh, what's going on?
I'm trying to read this snipe chat. Wow, look at Lord Knight. So Lord Knight.
Oh, he got sniped. Benefit too.
He benefit. Yes.
Yes.
With 30 seconds to go, with more than 30 seconds to go, he was in 7th place with 3,427 votes. He then won that section, or he qualified, I should say, with 13,513 votes. He got more than almost 10,000 votes in the final half minute.
Yo.
Dang!
Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. Dang.
Dang!
Huh.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's the other problem too.
That is wild.
The sniping thing is not cool too, so.
People, you know,
what's that?
Different people use their money in very different ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to buy a house someday, but
yeah, where 10K? That is a.
What was it? It was, let's see, 10K and how many? So for every 25 votes, for every $50 you get 25 extra votes. Well, we could do this math, but you know, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? That's so crazy.
I don't know.
Kizzy got knocked out at the last minute too.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what happened on this? Let's see.
Oh,
that's not on this chart.
This one. Yeah.
Zoinks!
Yep, that's the way it works, dude. That's the way it works. So, you know, again, voting with money is one thing, but then because voting with money is a limited resource, people are scared to put that money in there in the first place. And so, like, for example, like, I want Supernoon in there. I haven't donated to Supernoon, right? Like, that's just how it works when it comes to cash, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I can only do what I can and go, vote Supernoon, but I don't think that's...
All right.
Unless he's hovering down there because he's got the snipe ready to go too. But
precedent.
see, now the problem is everyone's going to be scared of the snipe. So is everybody going to snipe? And now it's just like it's just going to be like this crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out by 2 p.m. tomorrow, relevant time.
Yep.
Okay, that's it about that, I guess.
Yep.
You want to talk about a couple other things that have been announced?
Yep. A couple of new events talked about. I guess you will talk. You want to talk about the Smash one? Or?
Sure, up to you.
Okay. Obviously, they announced that there's going to be a new version of Smash Brothers coming out for the Nintendo Switch.
There's going to be a version of Smash Brothers coming out for the Nintendo Switch.
Where we're not all 100% sure.
It may be new.
Right, exactly. But, I mean...
It's new. I don't have knowledge on that.
Oh, okay.
No, come on.
Yeah,
Nintendo called me up and they were, no.
Yeah, I know, right? Reggie Fees on me was like, hey, David.
Hey, David.
He's like, hey, Ultra David.
Oh, hey, buddy. No, I don't know. But obviously it seems like it's new.
Yeah. I would, at this point in time, I'm kind of pretty much confident that it's going to be new. They've announced that they were going to do an exhibition at E3, but they just announced the 8 players who are going to be involved in this.
Yes.
And it's a pretty exciting list.
It's a great list.
Because last time when they did the invitation, there was a mix between top players and some personalities, et cetera. But this time they were just like, nope, top
Make
players.
It good.
That's it.
Okay, so you got MK Leo, you got Zero, Armada, Abadongo, Plup, Mr. R, Lucky, and Mango.
I mean,
Mango he's got quite the look going for himself these days.
Only 3 U.S. players.
Yeah.
Everybody else is from everywhere else, and that's really cool.
Well, a couple more of those guys live in the U.S.
Well, yeah,
now,
Zero lives here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So MK Leo, does he live here?
I think he lives in the U.S.,
okay,
but I can't. I'm not sure, to be honest.
But I think it's cool because I was really pleasantly surprised to see them invite Abadongo over.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was super happy about that. So I think that's a great list of players in there. I think we've got a good set of players here, and I'm excited for that.
So you mentioned the regionality of it, which is definitely great. On top of that, it's players from both Smash 4 and Melee. So it's both of the major scenes that are represented. So I mean, they're clearly, in my view, they're clearly trying to get as many Smash players and fans to pay attention to this as possible. Which you wouldn't if you only had Smash 4 players. Some Melee players would be like, eh. If you only had Melee players, Smash 4 players would be like, why? You know. But they got both, and so I feel like they're trying to reach out to both sides, which I hope is also mirrored in the gameplay. So that it's not just going to appeal to sort of post melee Smash, is a little bit slower, Brawl and Smash were a little bit slower, but that there's like a kind of mix that's appeals to everybody.
Can I piss off all the Smash players?
Let me eat tacos.
Let me piss off all the Smash players right now. I'm so hopeful for this Switch version coming out to be fast, to appeal to a lot of the melee players, to put in a lot of the tech stuff back in there, like the wave dashing and all that stuff like that.
Okay.
So that we can have Smash Switch be at EVO, and that's it. I want Smash Switch to be good enough that all the players will unite into that game, so we can have one Smash game at EVO and free up some space for some other games. I think that would be awesome if we can unite them all together for that. I think it would be cool that way, because I think if it's good, like it would replace Smash Wii U probably.
I feel like everybody thinks...
Melee? But Melee doesn't even have a lot of high entry numbers anymore these days,
really?
Compared to what it used to be at some events. Like I know like at Combo Breaker, it's like towards the bottom.
I don't think it was ever huge there, was it?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I think that would...
Well, I mean, it would be nice to have a game that everybody could play, but...
Right, exactly.
That just doesn't seem likely to me. And I think that Melee players... I mean, look, I love Super Turbo and Third Strike. I also really liked SF4 and 5. Mm-hmm. I liked SF4 and I really liked SF5. There are, just because a game comes out that is new and also good doesn't mean the players of previous games will drop their game.
Right, yeah, for sure. But those games did get dropped from the tournament. Right? It just happens. And so like...
Well, I mean, we got, there's 100 players plus that's ST for Combo Breaker.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not nothing. It's obviously it's not like Melee, but
I mean, this is Year of Anime, because there's 164 players for Unist at Combo Breaker. Let's go! Awesome. But I mean, come on. If we had one Smash game, that means next year we'd have that much room for even one more anime game.
Yeah, that's right. From what I've read and talked with people about, it seems like everybody's expecting Smash 4 to just go bye-bye.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm no expert. I'm not super deep in the scene, but from what I've been reading on Twitter and the like, it seems like that's the case. Mm-hmm. People are like looking forward to playing whatever the next game is. People who maybe played Brawl, now they're playing Smash 4, they're not playing Brawl anymore. Maybe they'll play Smash 5. Whereas Melee people they're Melee players. They're not... Like, you know how some people are Mortal Kombat players and some people are NRS players?
Yeah.
Some people just drop out entirely for Injustice. Right. They're MK players. I feel like there's a sizable group of folks in Smash who are just Melee players. Right. They're not necessarily Smash.
Yeah, I mean, I do hope that some of the players come through. Like, for example, Mewtwo King will probably end up playing the new one, right?
He's played every game.
But, like, it would be cool if, like, Leffen and Armada showed up.
Awesome.
I don't know if like Mango would transfer over or something like that. I mean, he definitely would be capable of it.
I'm sure he's got talent. No doubt.
So it'd be really, really cool if we could just get a Smash game to unify them, in a lot of ways. And yeah, Sakurai obviously has a history of like, no, for fun, for glory kind of thing and all this stuff like that. But Nintendo does feel like they're doing a bigger push for esports now, right? With Splatoon, there have been a few Splatoon championships. It hasn't been crazy, but Melee is probably their best potential with that, right? And so
ARMS, they've done things
with. Right, exactly. So if they create this game with the contract stuff as well to allow for the esports, right? So, for example, if you allow your guest character in our game, we can also have him be at events and represented and all that stuff like that, right? If they do that right, this game could really like take over everything. You know what I mean? This could be like one of the biggest things ever if Nintendo supports it. And, look, Nintendo is Nintendo, right? We're not getting a Street Fighter V release for the new Smash Brothers. It's going to be high quality. It's going to have all the one-player features. It's going to have all that stuff in there, right? I mean, everybody knows Street Fighter V came out and was like, what happened?
Remember when they installed a rootkit on people's computers?
Like, that's just the thing. If Smash Brothers Switch came out and was done right and was really pushed by Nintendo for esports, it could be basically the biggest thing in the FGC.
Sure.
Like, absolutely the biggest
Why not?
thing in the FGC. So,
Why not?
you know.
I think it's big, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'd like to go.
Dude, it's so frustrating. You went that last time,
did.
right? I remember you had the poster with
I did. I was super hyped for Little Mac.
That's right, yeah. But like, you know, it's always, like, there's always that one roadblock. What if Sakurai was Harada? You know what I mean? Like, what if Harada was in charge of Smash Brothers, and then everything would just be like, oh, man.
What are you gonna do, man?
Ugh, it's always one thing, dude. It's always one thing.
You know, that's how it goes. But yeah, I'd love to go see it. It's going to be at E3, which is in June. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I think it's the first week of June. No, it's the second week of June. So it will take place on June 11th.
Okay, cool. There you go. June 11th is what day of the week?
Monday.
It's a Monday. Ooh, okay.
Well, that's E3. Yeah.
It's gonna be because E3 is usually Tuesday through Thursday, right?
The finals will be on Tuesday. No, E3 like the conferences nowadays are starting at like Monday and stuff.
You're right. You're right. So, okay.
So that's that. But then that's not the only interesting new tournament series coming up. There's also going to be the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Tournament Series, which will feature tournaments for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Street Fighter Alpha 3, period, comma, according to shoryuken.com.
Yes, I see. I'm excited for this. It's going to be, what, at CEO, SCR?
So ST will be played at CEO, June 29th to July 1st. Alpha 3 will be at SoCal Regionals, which is Ontario, California, September 14th to 16th. And then Third Strike will be at Canada Cup in Toronto, October 26th to 28th.
Such a mistake. It's a mistake.
Dude, as soon as I saw this, I really thought that they should have switched up the order.
Well, they should put ST at Canada Cup.
Absolutely.
Because Tournament of Legends is already going to be there.
I'm 100%
All the
with
Japanese players are going to be over there. And in fact, CEO is on East Coast. And I think there's a lot more of the Third Strike players still active on the East Coast.
For sure.
So,
yeah, no, I as soon as I saw, I absolutely agree with you. But that's what the announcement is.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think that's pretty sick, to be honest. I wish that it was more, you know, that there was more going on, but
7,000 pop bonus for each of the games.
it's great. No, it's awesome.
Right. And, you know, I mean, this could be a test as well. So, you know, please sign up for these things.
Sure.
Even if you have a passing interest to play, sign up for these things. Show the support for these old games, because then maybe Capcom, because, I mean, it would be super sick if CPT had these other Street Fighter games as side events.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, every CPT event had, here's Street Fighter 5, and here's Alpha 3, and Super Turbo, and Third Strike. Because, although, to be honest, and you know me, I love Alpha 3 much more than I love Alpha 2.
Sure.
I really do wish it was backwards. I really do think that Alpha 2 probably deserved the online and stuff more than Alpha 3.
I'm with you.
Because as much as I love Alpha 3, as much as I love everything about Alpha 3 and everything they did, crouch cancel, infinites,
Yep.
we're going to see Vega jumping back and forth doing jumping short for 99 seconds.
Yeah, Viscan already posted on Twitter that he's going to bring out V Vega, and he hopes to time everybody out.
Yep, yep, exactly. So, you know, but, you know, ST, Third Strike, obviously super excited for those games. Those games have always been super popular. And Third Strike, the biggest problem for that game's never had a good home version. Right. Never had a good home version. I'm confident in this one because everything I tested at final round seemed really good. Again, maybe I might be putting in too much faith into Digital Eclipse and, you know, the one of the heads, Frank Cafaldi, and his mindset and all that stuff like that. Yeah. But everything I tested felt super accurate. Chun-Li's low forward had the biggest cancel window, like the arcade version. It even felt like Ken's low forward had a slightly larger cancel window.
Well, it's a little bit slower.
Right. Oh, is that what it is?
The arcade speed is a little bit slower than PlayStation.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love a hyper fighting tournament too.
That'd be great.
Hyper fighting, people don't know. Like Super Turbo hyper fighting.
Very different.
Right? Like I would say more different than even Melee and Smash Wii U, but you know.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
That's kind of my biased viewpoint. Yeah. But I mean, there is some craziness going on in hyper fighting.
Oh yeah, Ken does jump in Fierce Dragon Punch. Fierce jab, dragon punch, that's the end of the round.
Yeah, you're dead.
Don't throw a fireball opening round against Ken. Oh, boy.
Dude, I forgot. I was talking to somebody else, right?
By the way, that combo stuns, and then he just does a jump in combo, and that's full life.
Yeah, you're dead, basically. If he uppercuts you once with jab, uppercut, and you eat meaty, crouching short, you're dead. That's game is over, basically.
Uppercut plus anything.
Yeah. And dude, I still remember, too, someone was like, oh, like I was messing around with hyper fighting. I saw the old Shoto's Tatsus in the air went horizontal. It's like, oh, that must have sucked. No wonder they changed it to the bed. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Opposite.
Can air light Tatsu change your jump arc, land at a different timing?
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, land and recover instantly and have a tiny hurt box as you're landing, as you're falling. Yeah,
and then use Ken Jump Fierce to blow up, wake up Sagat Tiger uppercut into air Tatsu, guaranteed stun. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. SNES, I'm not SNES, hyper fighting on is just like
it's unforgiving.
It's the most broken game ever.
Unforgiving.
Like literally round 1, fight Balrog, charge pow, fierce pow, you're stunned.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
game was wild.
The game was so fun, dude.
It is fun. That's my favorite boxer for sure.
Dude, I mean, look, Yosh, for sure, if I played hyper fighting, Alpha 3, I'm not going to be as good at, because Alpha 3, I do not have that game burned into my hands. Yeah. Not only that, but high level Alpha 3, when I was playing it at the height, is not high level Alpha 3 now. Fightcade Alpha 3 is a whole different game. People have started doing all sorts of crazy things in that game. And but for hyper fighting, I mean, I can always fall back on the fact that I'm using Zangief, who's going to die to some characters, but he's still super good.
He's good, yeah.
And Super Turbo, of course, I use Cammy, not very good, but in those two games, I will still body most people.
Of course, yeah, and you do whenever we go to events.
Yeah, I know. I will not have any problem. I will not be having any problem being good at those games. I'll tell you right now, dude. God, Zangief is so fun in hyper fighting.
He is fun in hyper fighting.
It's the most fun Zangief has ever been, and he doesn't have a green hand in that game.
Yeah, I think I agree. So. That game has my favorite Zangief, I think, and my favorite boxer.
Yeah.
That boxer is super fun.
He's
such a bulldog, but it's like in an interesting way. In ST, I feel he's kind of brainless a lot of the times, but in hyper fighting. You really have to place things well, but if you do, he's good.
Right?
It's just like you really gotta really hold on to your turnaround punches correctly.
Dude, freaking ST Balrog low rush is like +8.
Plus on block, yeah. That into stand fierce. And
that into jump is like the scariest thing ever. And then they gave him the most invincible wake up out of every character in the game.
Safe.
Like, what the hell were they thinking? He'd be super good in that game if he didn't have that headbutt.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? Like, honestly, that's what makes hyper fighting Balrog so interesting.
Yes.
Because, like, sometimes the Shotos, their best course of action to kill Balrog is jump, medium, kick, throw, jump, medium, kick, throw, jump, medium, kick, walk up, low forward uppercut, you know, like, they just bullied him that way. Yeah. Because
it had to pressure him because they could not zone it.
Right, and Balrog was literally the epitome of offense versus bad defense. Like, he was that character.
Dude, it's the same reason why I like Dictator and Super Turbo.
Yeah,
same reason.
Same exact character. So there you go.
Anyway, these events will be occurring, and I'm really excited. I hope that they get stream time. I hope that they get big entry numbers. It would be super cool if we saw them at Capcom Cup, but even just them doing this is already pretty sweet.
Well, even just on a CPT basis, like if they had brought them to all the events.
Oh, all of them. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Maybe not even the ranking events, maybe only the premier events or something like that, but I think that would be super cool.
Super awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty.
So yeah, new events for old games, but it is still a new event.
Yeah.
So there you go.
One of the events we talked about was for a new game, we believe. Watch it's for Melee HD.
God, actually, you know, I would be almost just as hyped for a Melee HD if they came out with one and then added a couple of characters to it. Yeah. I would actually be just as hyped because then we could just get everyone. Then everybody would just there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
like,
true.
Hey, cheers Melee HD. Let's add some Inklings to this. Let's add Sonic and Pac-Man and let's go. So.
All right, well, I think that's it for new stuff.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Actually, let me change that here because we didn't actually get a chance to talk about the events of this past weekend. So I'll move this over here and I'll do Canada Cup Masters. Because that did take place.
That did take place.
That's right.
Do you want to get the old results out there?
Yeah, let's do that. I didn't actually find the results.
Oh, really?
Watch some replays of it. I actually went back to watch Justin's Falk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think?
What makes me happy
It sucked. Is that...
No.
Okay.
Is that when I tested Falk the first day that she dropped, I was like, I think she's going to play like this.
Okay.
It's exactly what Justin did.
Oh, yeah?
It was mid-screen zoning.
Yeah.
Mid-screen. But he didn't do any of the knockdown stuff.
Yeah.
It was just mid-screen zoning with standing medium kick into gunshot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I was like, this is how I think she's going to play.
Ryu.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did. And he basically beat everybody except for LPN, who had to switch to Bison to beat him.
Bison seems to blow her up.
Bison, because obviously his movement is really good. He's scissor kick to get in and stuff like that. But against everyone else, it was just really just Justin playing Justin-style defense, being really smart, being really annoying with crouching light punch, and then occasional standing medium kick into gunshot. And anytime he activated V-trigger and the opponent was blocking, he would just do standing medium kick, into this, into gun, standing medium kick, into this, into release. He did it 3 times in a row and would push them all the way to the other side of the screen again, and then just start back again.
Right, get rid of it.
He just used it, he would just spend it instantly to push them back, and then he started all over again.
Okay.
And you could tell how annoyed a lot of there was definitely lack of character knowledge.
Right.
Like no one ever took advantage of Fierce into low gunshot. Like no one ever jumped over that. Very occasionally.
I can't even believe you pressed that button.
Very occasionally. Like, oh, dude, he was using Fierce good.
No, not Fierce.
But the low gunshot. Oh, yeah, no, he was using it really well.
He used it?
Yeah, he did. He would use it every once in a while, and it was actually working out pretty good.
Once a game?
No, more than that, probably.
Okay.
Maybe twice a game, twice a game or something like that. So, but he was just doing it really, he was just playing it really well. He was just being Justin and being really annoying and really frustrating to deal with. And yeah, he beat up on a lot of players. I mean, he beat up like all the camis and stuff like that. So.
Well, it seems like he did well in the whole overall standings.
Yeah, he only used Falk and he only lost to LPN.
Really?
Yeah, this is the only character he played in this whole entire thing.
So,
oh no, I think he went to Minot once.
It does say Falk, Minot, and Karen.
Oh, I don't remember the Karen. I don't remember the Karen.
So 8th place was EG, NY Chris G with Guile, Sakura, Nash, and Cammy. He went 1 and 6.
Yeah, he was kind of goofing around. I don't think he was as serious as some of the other guys.
7th was Ceroblast with Ken and Ed, who went 2 and 5.
So by the way, the top 8 was played by round robin, obviously.
Round robin.
So yeah, first to 5.
CYG PR Balrog with Akuma only, 3 and 4. 5th,
PR Akuma, yes.
Yes, 5th also Ghost K-Brad. No, just 5th. Ghost K-Brad. Cammy and Karen, who also went 3 and 4, but had a record of 17 and 24 to make. He should be. Oh, maybe he beat PR Balrog in the tiebreaker.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tiebreakers are total wins first. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, let's move on. 4th place, EG. I don't know. I don't want to read this. EG Ricky Ortiz, Chun-Li 3 and 4. So 3 players went 3 and 4. Yeah. Then LPN got 3rd place with Abigail and M Bison went 5 and 2. 2nd place was Echo Fox Punk with Cammy, Ken, and Nash, 5 and 2 also. And then winner Echo Fox Justin Wong, Falk, Minot, and Karen went 6 and 1 overall. Who did he lose to?
LPN.
You just said it.
LPN. Yep. And yeah, it's so funny because that top 8 lasted like 6 hours or something.
Sure.
It was like really, really long. And they kept promoting the Matcherino and all that money went to Dragon Ball. Yeah, that's what Yosh was talking about. But yeah, like all that money went to Dragon Ball. So
That's
Goichi
hilarious.
made all this money.
Okay, that was Street Fighter. Then Dragon Ball results.
Yeah, spoiler, Goichi won.
Oh no! 7th places were Espard with Adult Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, and Marvtronic with Goku Black, Piccolo, Vegeta. 5th were Echo Fox Justin Wong with Blue Goku, Goku, and Goku Black. 5th was also Echo Fox Punk with Cell, Trunks, Vegeta.
Yeah, was he? Justin was in 5th. I think he qualified in winner side, and I don't think he played in it. I think he DQ'd himself all the way into like
Zoinks.
5th or something. Yeah.
Oh, sure enough, you are correct. 4th place was Mega Mike X with Bardock, Tien, Goku. 3rd was Timo with Goku Black, Cell, Vegeta. 2nd was EG NY Chris G with Bardock, Trunks, Vegeta. And winner was CO Goichi with Bardock, Cell, Vegeta. And Adult Gohan, Cell, Vegeta.
Chris G basically rage quit in the grand finals.
Zoinks.
He just got up and shook his hand. It was just like, he shook his head. He's like, I can't do anything.
It says that he beat Chris G 3-0. Was
Yeah.
it in the last game?
Yeah. He just kind of got up, like, basically right when it was, like, clear he was not winning that game. And he was just like, yeah, I'm done.
Dang.
I'm done.
He's pretty good, is Goichi.
Yeah, nobody can beat that guy right now. And there was, like, clips of him, like, blocking just forever against Timo in the exhibitions.
I did see that clip.
And he just would not do anything but block. It was the craziest thing, dude.
Looks like he didn't lose a game.
Oh, that's what it was. He paused in the middle of Goichi's long call.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
Oh, man.
Super Smash Bros. 4 results. 7th places were TEG Nurse with Captain Falcon Wario. Did I say that wrong? That sounded like it came out to me. Yeah, Wario.
Okay.
Captain Falcon.
I mean,
and
some
Wario.
people say...
That's what it was. I said Captain Falk and Wario.
Oh, you said Falk. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Anyway.
Although some people do say Mario, right?
I say Mario typically.
Do you say Mario?
Like, it's not intentional, but it usually comes out.
Okay.
7th place also was Marth. Silver with Marth. 5th were Frost Solarius with Cloud and DSL Wendy the Hottie. Wendy Thotty 23. Wendy T Hottie 23.
Probably
maybe?
Thotty. I would say
Yeah,
Thotty.
makes sense. Diddy Kong. 4th was EEMG Black Twins 13. Cloud and Mario. 3rd was MD3 Sonic. MD3
Sonic?
with Sonic. Jeez, I am screwing this up.
Sonic.
2nd place was Echo Fox Mewtwo King with Cloud, and winner was Exodia with Zero Suit Samus and Sheik. Melee, 7 places were, that is ME $ rats exclamation point. Look, I'm not having a great time reading these already, but come on now. With Pikachu, 7th also was JV with Fox. 5th were Odds, Jigglypuff, and Krizky with Fox. 4th was Sunsei, Fox, and 3rd was Quaff with Marth. 2nd place was Frost Silverius with Marth, and winner was Echo Fox Mewtwo King with Marth.
It's funny that Mewtwo King was there.
That's cool. Guilty Gear Xrd Rev. 7 places, Yowzer, Chip, and www.rockthedrag.in with Bedman. That's hilarious. 5th were TTN, Biken, and Lewd Toast, Venom and May. 4th was Street 11, Slayer, Venom. 3rd was Echo Fox, Justin Wong. Nobody was here with Potemkin. 2nd place was X Mist with Elfelt, and winner was Killy with Johnny.
Always tell that story. When Evo East, Justin Wong joined my Guilty Gear team. It was a 3v3, and I was like, dude, I got Justin Wong on my team. Yeah. He wasn't very good.
Played Potemkin and
he was biking. He was actually
really?
biking.
Okay.
He didn't even do really that well, so I was like, what?
Dang.
So mad.
Ultra Street Fighter 4, 7th places, EFGC,
I think you could just do
LL
top 4,
Lightning,
to be
T-Hawk.
honest.
All right, that sounds good to me. 4th was Echo Fox Punk with Yun, Sagat, Ken, Cammy, and Seth. 3rd place, LPN Rolento. That sounds like it's so backwards. Like Rolento, I mean, LPN with 1 character. Punk with
like
8.
7, yeah.
2nd place, NY Chris G, Sakura, and Abel. Winner was Echo Fox, Justin Wong, Elena.
God.
Marvel Infinite results. 4th place, EGMI Chris G, Morgan Monster Hunter. 3rd was Justin, Nova
Cool.
Ultron.
I was about to say, like, Justin never plays this anymore, but I guess he still does. Okay.
2nd place, Timo, Dormammu Nova. Winner, Punk.
Yeah,
Dante
Punk beat
Ultron.
Timo, dude.
He's impressive.
Dude, Yipes has really whipped him into shape.
Yeah, they have been playing, haven't they? Yeah.
Well, because remember that one time Punk was like, I'll beat you,
Yeah, I do,
you know? And then they played that set of like first to 100 and like Yipes just like mopped him
slaughter
up.
him.
Yeah, so.
Good stuff. 7th place, Tekken 7, 4th place, LFO, Master Raven. 3rd, Calgary Miguel with Miguel. 2nd place, The Jaggernaut with Alyssa. And winner was Echo Fox Justin Wong with Jack 7.
What?
They were a bunch of...
Justin loves it. Okay, look, obviously there was this tournament here, but...
Dang, Goichi 10-1 over Timo in the exhibition.
Yeah. Look, obviously the main thing really comes down to is the after hours stream.
After hours.
I don't know if you saw any of that.
I heard about it only.
That was pretty wild.
Okay.
They had
There
like
was
they had
karaoke?
Justin bodied Goichi, dude, because he made Goichi do all this karaoke, and Justin had to do no karaoke. Like, I think that's kind of unfair in a weird way.
How did that work?
He was just like, do it, Goichi, come here,
really?
do it.
Oh, wow.
He Justin was like, I don't even know if he was drunk, but you know how when you're around drunk people, you start acting a little bit drunk,
Sure.
right? I think Justin kind of got into that mode, and he was like emceeing the whole entire thing, and he was just like dogging out, and because they had a whole tournament which was a typical lap chi where you had to take a shot before every game. And dude, like Ceroblast like had a bunch of drinks before that event, and they had him play like that guy was gonna die. Like I was actually legit nervous he was going to die from alcohol poisoning because he just should not have drank any more than he did.
Okay.
But he got Goichi to sing One Punch Man. He got him to sing like the Dragon Ball title things. He wasn't bad actually. I mean, the best part about it was he gave it his all. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, it wasn't, oh, dude, when he had to go with those power notes, he was just like, ah! It was just like, oh, there we go. Okay. So, yeah, he was good.
You got to respect that at least.
Yeah, I was happy for Goichi, so yeah. And like I said, I mean, he's also a good singer, too. He's a good singer, too. So, I mean, he wasn't great, but he was good because he gave it his all. Dude. So, yeah. But were those Matcherino stretch goals to get them to sing? Is that why he did it?
Yeah, that's what I heard about.
Yeah, those mics weren't meant for singing. They kept doing the clipping thing when he would get to the loud notes and stuff like that. Yeah. But dude, and then like they were all playing, they all got drunk, and it was quite a spectacle.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and you know, it was interesting too because a lot of the commentary was done by the players. Right. And which was hit or miss. Okay. You know, there were some times where Chris just wasn't even saying anything because he was just watching. Sure. You know, but you know,
that occurs.
It's cool though because you can always hear that top players have a different take. Definitely. Because they think about the game differently. Definitely. You know what I mean? So it's really always very interesting to hear top player commentary like that. Man. So, but yeah, it was that after hour stream was definitely something, and it was very typical of a lap chi event.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. People were drinking a lot, dude. Yeah. I mean, has anybody heard from Ceroblast at all? Anybody heard?
I mean,
dude, the funniest thing about it too is like Justin was even just like, "This is FGC, man. Like this is what we do," and and all this is. Yeah, I mean, it's there's no filter, I guess. So there you go.
I'm not sure that's what we do, but all right. Maybe people do drink, but you know, it's the hangout like always.
Oh man.
One time in college, I decided to go to a party, not drunk at all, but to act as if I was the drunkest person there. Oh man, what a time. But it was weird, since I was in that state of mind, I did a bunch of things, like nothing too, like, whatever, crazy, but like, things that I, like, would typically be like, I'm not sure I'm into dancing right now, like, things like that. But then since I came into it being like, all right, I'm going to be the wildest drunk there, even though I'm sober, I was, like, all about dancing, and it was, like, cool somehow. It's a weird mindset.
No, I mean,
And then as I was leaving, I shut off the face, and I was like, have a good night, everybody. Like very, they were pissed actually. I didn't get invited back to that in the future.
No, I mean I've definitely done that. I've been around groups where I haven't drank anything, but then you just feel it.
You get into the flow a little bit.
Yeah, you get into the flow and you kind of go crazy and you're just like, hey, you know, and like get all like touchy-feely and all that weird stuff, and you know. I've definitely done stuff like that before, even though I haven't drank anything. So, yeah.
I just thinking back on.
It sounds like such a thing that you would do too. I mean, like when you said that, like there's nothing in my brain that was like, oh, that's funny. It was just like, yeah, yeah, I could totally see that. I can totally see that. So,
it's a funny idea, but make sure that you're doing it around the right folks, because the couple friends that I went with to the party thought it was hilarious, but the people who were hosting the party were, like I said, I never got invited back. So just, you know,
why would
make sure you got the right group. I don't know. I was deceiving them for like 4 hours. I'm not sure. But.
Oh well. Okay. All right. So that was Canada Cup Masters, though. Always a good time for lap chi events. Always good stuff.
Yeah.
So
he does really fun stuff.
And good job to them building up a lot of that Matcherino stuff. I don't know why every event doesn't use Matcherino. Like,
I don't know.
I think it's just the right thing to do. Okay.
Well, you know, I guess this makes me think of, maybe we should have talked about this earlier, the stuff that Arturo's been talking about lately with respect to pirated content.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that then. because I think that's a really important thing. I just don't know if there's an answer to it. So basically, he's just tired of the fact that everybody keeps, content stealing. And it's crazy because the people who do the content stealing, oh, you got rice in your keyboard. Oh, you got it out. Okay. The people who do the content stealing, they put a lot of work into it. They put they make their own thumbnails and all these things like that. But it's like Artur was saying, it's like they put them up immediately because they can capture them and put them up while they're busy, while the streamer is busy streaming. So he can't put the content up right away, right? That's a problem. And so a lot of these people are doing that, and they're stealing the content and taking all of the views from them. And to be honest with you, and this is not Arturo's problem, other people have this problem, but other people do a terrible job naming their videos. I could not find the Kemono Michi matches on YouTube by searching for it, like the Daigo Akuma match. I could only find the content stealers when I searched for it.
Really?
Because it was in Japanese. Their title was in Japanese mostly. And so you couldn't even search for Akuma. Like, they should have put that in there, right? Like, I had to go to Daigo's channel and find it in his list of videos. And even then, I had to be like, I think this is the one. It
was only in Japanese.
Yeah, well, there was a little bit of English here and there, but it just wasn't enough. And like, I've had this problem a lot. Like, I'll go look up stuff, and like, sometimes they'll be like, oh, here's top 8. And some sites will split it into multiple videos, right? But then the content stealers have it all in one, and people just want to watch it all at once and stuff like that. It's just, there's a really interesting situation where it's like hard to battle that.
I like to watch it individually, but what I mean, in any case, there are people who prefer a big top 8 video, and there are people who like them individually. It'd be nice if both options were available officially.
They should just upload both.
It would also be nice, something that I really like that some of the channels do, some of the pirate channels do, is that they'll make compilations of like the best matches of the night. So they'll be like, take 5 matches from 6 hours of stuff,
pools,
and like from pools, and like, here's the stuff you should watch. That's nice. It's like valuable content. It would be nice to see the official people do that too. So I definitely sympathize. Did I wear the Pirate Bay shirt tonight? Hopefully not. No, it's not. Good. That would have been very awkward.
You could have not told anybody, and nobody would have noticed.
That's a good point too. I sympathize with them.
Well, before you continue, I just want to mention this before it scrolls off the screen.
Sure.
Rift Tripper said, pirates know how to market the videos, most streamers don't. That's not necessarily true. What it just is they have more time to market their stuff.
They do it immediately. I mean, the streamers are working until the night's over / the weekend's over, depending on the context.
And then they just work 12-hour days, and so when Monday rolls around, they're a little tired, so they're not going to get it up right away. So, it's
tough. It always takes a little while to get it up. It's hard to get it up right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in the morning, too.
Yeah, definitely. Really? Oh, that's the easiest time for you. All right. It happens without, I don't even mean to sometimes.
Oh.
Gross. Anyway, I really sympathize with the people who make the stuff, but they, at the same time, while wanting to address their concerns, it would also be really nice to see them do some of the things that the pirated folks do. Obviously, it's difficult to upload simultaneously. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about, but it would be nice to have like the compilations of the best videos of pools, or it would be nice to have like a look into sort of some of the extra. It's not just whole matches that they'll sometimes show. Sometimes they'll be like, here are the sickest combos of the night. Like they'll like really compile it in ways that I think are nice. So.
Capcom has been doing a good job. They've been putting their videos up really, really fast. But that's because they have a team that does that, right? They have a team of players.
But again, like I would love to see like more. I feel like there's more that they could be doing, and I agree with you that sometimes it's not marketed that, it's not titled that great. Sometimes it's not marketed that great. So there's definitely stuff that they could improve. At the same time, again, I definitely think that we should be trying to only watch the legit ones.
Right, and plus the other thing too is that some people have said, isn't there the strike system and stuff like that? Hard to prove in those situations.
It's just,
it's not gaming content, right?
This stuff happens all the time to me and clients of mine, and has been for many, many years. It's difficult to challenge a strike. Sorry, no. It's not, it's difficult to enforce a strike. It happens both ways, really. But if like a content owner, if Spooky, who's not the biggest guy in the world, if Spooky says that his video is being pirated, that there's a YouTube video that he wants to strike, he can put a strike on it, but then the other party can just say, I have the rights, it's cool. And then the recourse for Spooky is to file a lawsuit, which he could do, but come on.
Right.
So it's not that practical for the little guy to use. If you're like the big boys, if you're like UMG or something like that, like your strikes matter, right? That video is out of here instantly. But if it's like Joe Schmo, if it's not the mega big corporations, then it doesn't really work in the same way, unfortunately.
Yeah. And a lot of times, you could hire editors and stuff like that for that, but that's not even that easy of a task because that cuts into your own profits and you're not making that much money from YouTube anyway, right?
Sure.
A lot of the guys who do stream a lot, like Eris, like Sajam, they have editors for their channels and they personally don't make anything off of those channels.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they just let the editors make the money off of that kind of thing. And that's what you end up happening. That's what ends up happening.
It serves as promo for their streams.
Right, exactly.
Rather than them actually making money out of the YouTube. Mr. Keebler, who says that the strike system won't work with fair use with how these pirates use the material and repurpose it, implying that the material is fair use. I'm almost certain it's not. It's almost never is.
Oh, okay.
For a couple of reasons. One is that the rights are probably not even the streamers really in the first place. Probably Capcom or Arxis or Namco or whatever company actually published the game owns almost all the rights anyway.
Right.
So it's hard to say that the streamers themselves have rights which are being infringed on in a way that fair use could then be even applied to. It's like not even in the same conversation in the first place. But where it is, those re-up videos are not changed enough in almost any instance for them to really be transforming anything significantly enough. Even like showing just the combos compilation, for example, or like the hypest moments compilation, for example. It's not nearly enough of a change to really change any rights with respect to the video itself. So I don't think fair use is really an issue.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough situation, but really the only way for it to succeed is if people are educated enough not to use the pirate channels.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing about it is the pirate channels probably do a better job being the easiest ones to search for.
They definitely do.
Right? So you find their stuff a lot easier, and a lot of times just for convenience sake, it's just easier just to go and watch that one because you feel like I'm just watching a 5-minute video, I'm not hurting anybody.
It's one view.
Yeah, exactly. But that all adds up.
It's like anything. I mean, we've talked about this in the past. My position is that you should support the things that you care about, and that'll be enough to like make the world go round. So like I'm really big into some things. Like I pay for a bunch of, like I pay for this Curiosity stream thing so I can watch documentaries all the time. I buy books a lot.
Right.
I don't care as much about music. So I like just listen to YouTube video for music, and I like, download some stuff, and it's not that big a deal to me. But the things that I do care about, I try to support. Fighting game videos is another example. But for people who feel differently, I get it that it's not super important to you. But if fighting games are important to you, then I think it's important to try to do what you can to support them. Yeah. And especially when that's not even paying money. Like to watch an uploader's YouTube videos, you're not paying money for the most part. You're just making a choice as to which video you should watch that carries the same content.
I still buy CDs Ender Gamma.
Unbelievable. Can't believe that's still being made.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true too. Sometimes some video game journalists even use pirated uploads because they don't know, right? And so that's a problem.
Yeah, sometimes they literally don't know, by the way. It's not always them being malicious or not caring. It's like, how do you even tell?
Right, they're like, hey, look, this channel has everything on it. They must be official.
Right.
And the person that Arturo was calling out, NYC Furby, the guy even responded to the tweet and was like, I have permission from everybody. And he's like, no, Lapchi was just complaining about it. He's like, I'll talk to Lapchi about it right now. And he's like, okay, he said it was okay. But you don't know if they're lying or what the situation is. And it's such a tough thing to handle, right? So I don't know what, really it's just about the people trying to help support by not going to those things, but you have to know not to do that in the first place. And sometimes it literally is an inconvenience. Like for me to find the Kimono Michi match, I had to go out of my way to go and search for it.
You're right.
So
I think that selective piracy is a good way to put it. I think that's nice and succinct. Because look, we're living in a world where all content is free if you want it to be. Right? Nobody needs to pay for anything. Regardless of what the law says or anything. Like the fact is that you can get anything, almost. But it'd be nice if we still had a way to support people making things that we care about so that we can get more of the things that we care about. So if you don't super care about X medium, okay, pirate whatever movies, or if you don't care about them that much. But if you're like a big movie head and it matters to you, you should really support that stuff. And same thing for all the other stuff that you like. If you really like a band, maybe pay them some money. Go see a show.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah.
It's true. I mean, a lot of the times too, that's what collector's editions are for essentially right now. It's for you, like, here's the steel box set of this latest album, and you'll buy it because you really want to support the band. Right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the way it works.
Exactly.
Right? So it's personally why I believe now in the day of the internet, like, because everything is so easily pirated there, but then at the same time, Kickstarter kind of proved that people are willing to pay different amounts of money for support. And I really feel like that's how everything should be sold now. Because before, you go to economics class and they always talk about supply demand. Here's these curves and you should basically aim for here, because you don't have the ability to control how much people pay for it. You
couldn't discriminate.
It was too hard. It's like you couldn't build, like, here's the 2 collectors one, and then here's this tier, put them all in a store. You don't know if anyone's going to buy it or whatever. Like, but if it's online and you're all in one source and everybody can access the one single store, you can do that. So honestly, that's the way things should be sold now.
A lot of things are going like that. And content creation.
Especially for art, right?
Especially for art. People have Patreons where exactly that kind of thing goes.
Exactly.
Folks are just tossing in money. I mean, some of you guys are doing it for us, and we definitely appreciate that. That is important for us.
Exactly. So
yeah.
It's a tough situation, dude.
But I also think it's a good way to say for Peter 0611, who says, if you pirate it, own up and don't act like you're owed any type of quality or customer service.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's
just,
true,
take it. Like, you're not owed anything.
Yeah, if you're pirating stuff like that, then you can't be mad at anybody for anything.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
You're definitely not entitled to, well, I mean, the way that, I'm not sure that's right. I think because content is always free, if you want it to be, almost all content, it's kind of the reverse, I guess. You should be nice and not feel entitled, but anybody can take anything. So what does it all matter?
Yeah, there's also the extent too, if you make it cheap enough, then it's not even worth pirating, right? So like, even the whole thing right now where you can buy songs for 99 cents, a lot of the times it's like, it's just easier for me to go to Amazon and buy a song. You know what I mean? And
dang, do you buy songs?
Yeah.
Individual songs?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, all the time. And again, I mean, to be honest with you, music means enough to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know we're in a different world when it comes to...
Right, yeah, exactly. Music means enough to me that I'll do that to support artists and stuff like that. And that's just generally, I like music a lot, so I will do stuff like that.
Good stuff. Well, I respect that.
Yeah, so, and then also, like I said, 99 cents for a song is just like, I could just go to Amazon, do that, as opposed to like, I don't know, like I don't have the resources. I don't know where any of the pirated stuff is. So it would actually be harder for me and not worth the time that it takes me just to buy a song for a buck. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I subscribe to CuriosityStream and Netflix and stuff, even though I can get almost all their content anyway. But there's both me wanting to support it and also a convenience factor. Right. It's very convenient.
Yeah, exactly. Especially something like Netflix, because then you can just watch it on any system that you want, for sure, anywhere you go. So.
Oh, dude, about
I've bought a Girls' Generation song before, but that's not the reason to listen to it, so necessarily. So. Yeah. Do you remember that was the band, that SNSD that AJ Papa was obsessed with a long time ago? They did the GGGG song. God, you just...
I'm not trying to like cast aspersions. I just don't know. That's all. I'm not one of the... I don't feel like I need to be like, I don't listen to music, I'm so cool. or whatever, or I don't listen to X kind of music. I don't know. I'm ambivalent. Basically what it is.
Oh man.
Yeah. So about this, you wouldn't download a car line,
There's
right?
Cammy.
The classic.
Cammy's right there, Dios. Cammy's right there.
When I was in,
And I've got a bunch of other Cammys upstairs.
you
so.
definitely have Cammys.
Yes, everywhere.
When I was at UCLA getting my Master of Laws in Entertainment Law, a guest speaker was like the head lawyer from Sony at the time.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned this.
Yeah, what a jerk I was as a kid. I'd probably still do this. So he came to us to talk, and he was telling us about, pirate. And obviously we're in law school, so most people there you would think are like more into the law in general. Anyway, so he was going on about piracy and how it's really killing them and all this stuff, and he was like, hey, you know, obviously you wouldn't download a car, but people are willing to do it for our work. Why is that so different? And I was like, first of all, we definitely all would, and second, in 20 years we'll be doing that. Definitely will be happening. We're definitely going to download cars and definitely going to download chairs and sell chairs. And would you rather live in a world where everybody has free cars or not? Yeah. Right? Like everybody gets free any material good anytime?
Right.
Of course. Everything's better if that's the case. Like, right? Isn't that like a fact? But I don't know. Anyway.
Did he get mad?
Of course he got mad. And my professor was actually mad about it too. And my professor brought his buddy, who was this guy, to come chat with us, you know? Hey, what a cool opportunity to meet the head lawyer from Sony Music or whatever it was.
Right.
And then all this,
you're like, you're wrong.
Upstart kids were like, oh, we're all pirates.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, at some point we'll be able to 3D print a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
I mean, we haven't got to the point yet where we're 3D printing metal, but I'm sure that'll happen.
You can 3D print metal.
Oh, really?
Some types of metals,
Yeah,
not everything.
Okay.
You can 3D print guns. There's actually a lot of really interesting legal discussions about this. Who owns the rights? Are there copyrights in the same way? Are there patents in the same way?
I'm telling you, it's
very
so
intellectually fascinating. But the result is that if you want to in the future, yeah, definitely if you like a chair design, you have a brand new chair tomorrow.
And that's
if you want.
That's what drives. Like I've said this before in the past, and I was always like, you know how the internet changed the world and like changed everything on how we think of everything. I was like, 3D printing is going to be the next one that does that, and everyone's like, no, it's going to be virtual reality. And I'm just like,
you know, maybe both.
I've tried virtual reality before. That's not changing shit, dude.
Well, I think it'll change
honestly,
things,
because like there's going to be too many people who are going to get sick. It's just not enough for everybody.
Like, you don't think that can be solved? I'm not sure.
Only if you start introducing it to kids in school. If virtual reality is a class in school.
I've heard you talk about this. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, like I think that's the only way to make it work. Get them used to that idea early on.
Yeah.
So that they can, because like I'm old, right? So now everybody knows how old I am. But
right.
like I'm old, and when I do virtual reality, when I'm playing those games, like I just get deathly ill. You know what I mean? Because I can't handle it anymore. But then again, I've gotten motion sickness from a lot of things, right? So it's not necessarily just like, so I don't even know if training me at a young age would have made a difference anyway.
There might just be people who can't do it, for sure.
Exactly, and that's why I think augmented reality is going to be a little bit different, but I still think 3D printing is going to change more than that, because it's going to create this thing where it's like, I want this, I can make it myself. Yeah. Which is such a bigger difference than, hey, I'm walking around with an Iron Man HUD. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's going to be.
Sick,
is it sick? But it's not going to be as important as the ability to, hey, I need a new remote control. I'm going to print out all these parts, and here's a remote control. You know what I mean? Like,
or ideally, like having the little circuit board printed inside of it.
Dude, right? Like, can you imagine if we get to that point?
Sure.
Where we can print electronics.
Yeah.
Like,
amazing. Well, you can already, but it's you got to fit it into other things later. Yeah. It's not the same exact printing time.
Right.
I mean, the ideal for 3D printing is not that you're throwing all the stuff away. It's that you're just reusing it again. So it's, you know, you have a vat, or maybe you have like a store down the street that's the 3D printing store, and you want a yacht tomorrow, so you go and print a yacht, and then when you're done using it, you just take the yacht back and it boils it down again, and some
and that's the thing, the reusable material.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who knows if that's something that's going to be practical, but that's
the ideal,
of
if
course.
You could do stuff like that.
And it would definitely destroy the economy for sure. I mean, the current economy could not survive that at all.
Right.
That said,
You have to change the rules of everything.
Everything must be changed, and I don't know what else there is to be done about that. I don't know. Do you not have? You just end technology at some point? That's never been doable in human history. So,
and that's why I say it's going to be a bigger thing than virtual reality, because it changes the world in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It changes the world from a completely, we can't do things the way that we used to do it anymore.
Well, you know my philosophy that we're going to end up with Marx having been right, and that we're going to end up with robo-communism. That's my own bet.
Wow.
Since 3D printing, if 3D printing gets super efficient and energy generation is super efficient, and I don't really know what you base money off of anymore, like what scarcity.
Right, yeah.
And automatons are doing all the work, so labor's not the way that you do it anymore. So at that point, I don't know what you got, but you don't got capitalism anymore, friends. I don't really know what to do about that, but yeah, there it is.
Oh, man. No, this would be closer to being about Blaze Green than Blaze Blue. All right, well, okay, anyway. Enough of that. Let's talk about some fighting game news so people who just joined could be like, wait, do they talk about fighting games at all here? Oh, man. All right, let's talk about some fighting game stuff.
Star Trek.
New games coming out. Well, actually...
It's not depressing, that sounds rad.
Let's do some...
Don't you think? I think so. However, there's going to be a ton of violence in between, so expect a lot of people to die first.
You think so?
I don't know, man. I hope not.
The Purge? I mean, like,
oh my God, no.
Right?
No, I was thinking more about how entire generations of humans were just thrown into the waste pit of the Industrial Revolution. And that must have been absolutely awful for hundreds of millions of people. Yeah. But
it's true. The only way that whole 3D printing thing is going to stop from like changing the world in that way is if it makes it so terrible that everyone does go crazy and we do end up in a Mad Max scenario.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't want to be Mad Max.
It would be kind of cool because, I mean, let's face it, what is it, Imperia Furiosa? Like, I mean, she's awesome.
She was, yeah, if we end up in a world where she exists.
Yeah, I mean,
bummer.
You can't really complain about that, right?
All right, let's roll.
New game that we mentioned a little bit earlier last week, Blade Strangers. Very interesting game. It's a new fighting game that's coming out exclusively to the Switch. There's been gameplay footage of it. I haven't seen any of it yet.
I watched some of it.
But it's Blade Strangers it's like indie game, the fighting game right now. Like there's some characters that were from two particular company franchises first, was like Nicalis and something else. But now all of a sudden they just recently announced that the Shovel Knight guy is in it.
Correct.
The who is this dude again? The Binding of Isaac is going to be in there. Gunvolt is going to be in there. So a whole bunch of like really like an odd eclectic collection. It's like the indie Smash Brothers in a 2D fighting game, you know?
Yeah, because it is 2D. They made the Shovel Knight character way taller than I would have thought.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be really short, right?
He's short, but then you got like Isaac, who is short. So I guess they just had to like pick which one would be taller or whatever.
Yeah, interesting.
But it's a little weird, I think, looking, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but it's coming out on only the Nintendo Switch so far. And I don't know. I'm not sure what there is about this game. Like, I mean, we're already in a situation, and again, you know, I said this in an Uncensored episode at one point in time. I actually think that the amount of fighting games we have right now is a problem.
Dang.
But because games like this just have no chance, I feel like.
It'll be niche, you know. It's just gonna be. I can't imagine that they expect it to do like Tekken 7 sales numbers or anything, but I'm sure it'll get some.
I mean, it's tough. Like all I do is talk about how great Unist is.
Sure.
And guess who doesn't play Unist? It's like
Were you just playing it yesterday?
Well, I mean, we're doing the demo thing, right?
Yeah.
But I've like never sat down and like played against people and stuff like that, which makes me very, very sad, right? And Guilty Gear, I haven't even tested the new patch yet.
Dang.
I haven't even sat down and messed with the new patch yet because that's how much Dragon Ball and Tekken I've been playing.
All right.
You know what I mean? And you know, Guilty Gear is my favorite franchise in fighting games practically, right? And like I don't have enough time to play that, and so it's a tough world to get into right now. You know, if you're just like a guy and you're like, I want to make a fighting game. It's a tough situation.
Tough. Yeah,
it's a tough situation. So.
But I do feel that this game has enough known characters, enough IP that it'll get some presence.
Okay. Did we talk about the training mode and versus mode in 30th anniversary last week?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. Okay.
I think so.
This is actually kind of cool. There's going to be a Street Fighter Cross Tekken Side tournament at EVO 2018.
Okay.
And registration for that has opened.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see if I think you could just go to smash.gg and sign up for it. So, a lot of people have been saying like, oh, this game shouldn't have died. We need to bring this game back. And so, here's the opportunity. If you love the game, go play it.
It was good. I liked it. So, I get why people didn't like it, but I enjoyed it.
And again, I didn't like the game much, but I don't begrudge people who do like the game. So that's how you should.
Seems reasonable to me.
Taiwan Fighter, one of the big tournaments of the year, was originally scheduled for June.
Okay.
But apparently it's been pushed back to August now. Bruce, of course, aka Mr. Gamer B, or just Gamer B. I don't know why I said Mr. Gamer B. He is one of the head TOs of that event, so he can never enter it and stuff like that, but he helps run it. And he did say that, sorry to announce that due to venue issues, we must change the event date from June to August 18th and 19th. We sold out 1,000 tickets last year. This year we are focusing on improving the event quality, a tournament for community. Thank you, is what he said. So that will be moved till after EVO.
I was just going to ask when that was with respect to EVO.
Yeah, EVO's first weekend of August. So this is 18th through 19th, so it'll be a few weeks
2 weekends later.
Yeah, which I think is okay because right before EVO was getting a little bit crowded, right? So it's always a little bit better to space things out.
Sure.
And so there you go.
Okay.
And plus another thing too, I think it would be cool because what usually happens is a lot of people save their experimentation until after EVO because they want oh, now for me to try a new character. So who knows, maybe after for Taiwan Fighter people will be playing some, maybe we'll see some more Falk.
That'd be cool.
See some more Cody if he's out by then or whatever like that, so we'll see.
Okay.
God, do you think Cody will be out by EVO?
He's the next character coming out?
Yeah, well, I mean, assuming the order has been still accurate at this point in time.
That's 2 months away.
Yeah, right? and if he does come out, would he be legal at EVO? Away. He probably wouldn't be. He'd probably be banned from EVO,
Isn't it
imagine.
Usually a month in advance they need to come out? There's a chance that he comes out before that. That's a month and a half from now.
Dang, that'd be crazy, actually, having a month-old character in there. But you know what? We had that previous years of EVO, and nobody used those characters because, like I said, nobody wants to experiment with them that late. So there you go. Yeah. Why can't TOs compete in their own event? Because it's very easy for them to...
What if you make the brackets a certain way so that you don't get to face any strong competition?
Yep. It's definitely possible. So it's happened before, like back before CPT, all this stuff like that. Like at SCRs, Vi would always enter, and people would be like, "Oh, I just see your bracket happens to be," and Vi's like, "Dude, this is like random," and it's just you can't stop people from that kind of thing. And so why deal with it? Just avoid it completely. So,
yeah, TOs might be busy too. That might be part of it.
Yes, it's true too. Body Count Fighting, which is a series that takes place here in Southern California. They just announced a new weekly online tournament series for Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, and Injustice 2. So I don't know what the limitation is, like in terms of geography or whatever like that, but basically it says here, each has a $250 prize pool and a chance to earn points towards an online final and ultimately a live feature match in Los Angeles, California at an upcoming Body Count Fighting event. Okay. So it looks like Cycle 1 is going to be 2 days from now. Street Fighter V is going to be there, and then the week after that is going to be Dragon Ball FighterZ. Week after that, Tekken 7. Week after that will be Injustice. Yes, and so that's streamed on twitch.tv/bcfighting. Check them out at smash.gg/bcf.
Cool, man. That sounds really good.
Yeah, sounds cool. Obviously, online is tough, but
yeah,
they're going to try to make it work.
Gotta do some stuff. Yeah, sure. One of these decades, fighting game devs will get it. Final
Fantasy Dissidia announced a new character. They just announced the bad guy from Final Fantasy XII, Vayne.
Okay.
And they announced the new character is going to be a new Final Fantasy VI character.
Wow.
They're going to put Locke in the game.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool. I like Locke, but I mean, honestly, I would have put Celes in the game.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's Locke. That's
really?
Well, so the art in game is very well. Like the headshots that you got in the sub menu were from the original artist Amano, I think his name is Yoshitaka Amano, I think his name is. But he always draws all the characters in a very, very different style. But then when you see the little character sprites in game, they look very different than how they actually have the Amano draws them, right? And so when they've updated him into the 3D models, they've all went the Amano route. So it looks very different than what you remember from the little sprite in game. So there you go. So Lot Cole, yes, has been announced for that. Yeah, Dissidia has also announced like Square Enix is going to do a big old esports series and stuff. So Yoshitaka Amano, I got it right.
All right, nice
dude,
work.
I haven't been able to do that in a while, dude. I've been wrong about all these names and stuff when I'm trying to bring them from my brain, dude. Now, dude, I can't believe people thought I was lying about how old I was. Like, really? I had a lot of people are like, I did not believe you were that old. I was like, what
a weird response.
I'm like, did people think I was lying? And some people were like, yeah, we kind of like. Some people were like, we legit just thought you were just joking.
What?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, that's a flattering response.
How the hell have I played? Like, how do I remember when my parents got their first VCR and microwave when they were brand new things? If I was.
You have a fantastic baby memory.
Yeah, dude, I remember a lot of things when I was young. Like, I remember all the stuff that happened when I was a kid.
Dang,
so,
I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, Dissidia is starting a whole new thing, so hopefully that can picks up some steam. And I know there's a lot of people out there who still really enjoy the game a lot. So.
Dang, older than Star Wars? What a way to put it.
Dude, I told even in college, I was talking to a classmate one time, and it was when Star Wars was being re-released with the special editions, and I was like, man, I remember when my dad took me into the theater to see Star Wars. I was a baby at the time.
You remember that? You were like 1.
No, I remember this.
What?
And when the whole thing started,
that's wild.
The Star Destroyers came down, and it was so loud and noisy, I just started bawling. I was crying. My dad had to run me out of the theater. I don't know why I remember this, but I distinctly remember this. My dad had to run me out of the theater, and then my coworker at the arcade at the time was like, "You were alive when that happened?"
I'm less surprised that you were alive than that you can remember something that happened when you were 1.
Dude, I remember when I was like 1 year old or 2 years old or something like that, that we had this coffee table that the edges have glass on them, right? And like I put my baby bottle on the glass.
What?
And my grandma moved it off and put it on the wood part. And I got mad and I moved it back onto the glass.
Okay.
And she moved it back to
you guys a little battle.
wood. And then I just got mad and I grabbed it and I slammed it on the glass and shattered the glass.
Dang.
Yeah, as like a little baby too. So, this was my temper even back when I was a baby.
You don't feel like you've been told this story and you internalized it in a way like, here's how it must have gone.
Maybe.
Without realizing.
Maybe,
I don't know
like
either way,
I don't remember anyone relating that story to me.
Interesting.
It's very, very interesting. But I definitely have a lot of memories of like things when I was a kid.
I don't.
So
I'm jealous.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I have always been that. I've always had the worst temper. I mean, it's funny because people know me for flipping tables as a joke, right?
That's right.
But the very first time I ever lost a game of checkers, I flipped the board.
Dang.
And my dad and my brother were like, what the hell just happened? Like, they had that was the first time I lost something.
Wow.
I was so mad that I lost, even I was like 3 or 4 or something like that. And it's like, you don't even have this concept of losing, but I just knew that I didn't like it. And I was that mad already. So it's just, dude, salt has been there. It has been a part of me forever.
All right, man.
There you go. All right, more game news. We hinted at this a little bit earlier, data mining on the Switch version of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle.
Yeah.
Looks like people have figured out who some of the future DLC is going to be.
Right.
And 9 characters' names have popped up as potential.
9, huh?
9. Yeah.
Woo!
9 characters, including 9 the character.
Hey.
So in BlazBlue, Izayoi, 9, and Mai were names that came up. What? What happened?
What a question.
What?
From Nimaoki.
Actually, no. I will say this, and I can say no because my mom did not breastfeed.
Oh, okay.
So I have no memory of that because that did not happen.
Wow. All right, buddy.
Okay. In fact, both me and my brother were born through C-section too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, Persona, Akihiko, and Labris, and Mitsuru. And Under Night, Merkava, Mika, and Yuzuriha. So
All right. Yeah, there you go. There's a few.
Yeah, there you go. So those are some characters who are showing up. Like I said, Merkava is definitely a character that I'm interested in. Maybe Yuzuriha.
Yeah, those seem like would be good characters in the context of the game too.
Yeah, I'm curious how Yuzuriha is going to work, because she was always super complicated in Unio.
Yeah.
They simplified her in Unist a little bit, so that there's a little bit easier to control her a little bit. But in this game, they can't do any of that stuff. I feel like, holding buttons down to do different swords and keeping your charge thing. Okay. So there you go. So 9 potential more DLC coming out for that game. Also, this is kind of a funny one. Apparently someone by the name of Tiago Sonobe tweeted out on May 9th, so just a few days ago, he said, left Bandai Namco Studios before the production on Super Smash Bros. Began, but the rendering engine it is built on was made by me, happy face, hashtag Smash Bros. Switch.
Dang. That is ill-advised.
Yeah. And it's quote tweeting the Nintendo of America announcing the 8 players, and then the tweet was mysteriously deleted.
Do you think... Yeah, I mean, wow.
Oops.
Do you think he's a real person?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is Tiago Sonobe a real person?
I have no idea.
Tiago's brain dump?
I mean, Nintendo has probably already found him, and if nobody's heard from him recently, there's definitely some concern at this point in time. But Bandai Namco obviously helped with Super Smash Bros. Wii U already. Sure. So they were already involved in that.
Sure.
So that they are helping on the Switch version wouldn't necessarily be a surprise. Right. But if Bandai Namco definitely is working on the Switch version, this definitely is year of Bandai Namco right now. Because between Dragon Ball and Tekken 7,
Soul
Calibur's coming out, and then if they had their fingers in this game as well, Bandai Namco is kind of taken over the world of fighting games at this point in time.
Deservedly so.
Which to me, I mean, it's like Tekken is, so I've mentioned before that I think Street Fighter is the game that has to make it for the FGC to get places. I also think Tekken can do it too. Yeah. And it's really just because of my bias on games with their own IP. Like Guilty Gear, obviously.
Especially older games.
Yeah. With Guilty Gear, it could possibly do it, but nobody knows Guilty Gear, right? Mortal Kombat couldn't do it because it's too violent. Otherwise, Mortal Kombat absolutely would be that game that could take us there,
Well, it gets sales, but not competitively.
But again, like we told the story of how we were in the lift car and the guy mentioned Vega from Street Fighter, and we never mentioned what we were in town for. We never even brought up Street Fighter. So
no, it's in the culture.
Right. So I'm actually kind of, if Bandai Namco can do it and do it with Tekken, more power to them.
I think Gentle Snow boils it down well. Company makes a string of great fighting games versus making a string of really flawed fighting games. Simple as that, buddy.
Yep.
I mean, all the games that Capcom has come out with in the last decade, maybe not early Street Fighter 4, but after that, all of them had significant issues. Like, I liked the gameplay on all of them, but they all had other issues.
Right, exactly. We're never going to sit here and be like, Street Fighter 5 was great even on release. Obviously we know all the issues with these games. NBCI, ugly as hell, and they just did, like, there's no effort put into that game graphically and at a presentation standpoint. Like, every time I go back and watch Marvel 3, it makes me sad. Like, I just see, like, the crazy explosions, marvelous graphics, it's like awesome, it's like all this cool stuff, and it's just like...
That's true, I shouldn't rag on Marvel 3. So after Marvel 3...
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
All right.
Marvel 3 is... After Marvel 3, that's when things had problems.
Cross-Tekken, et cetera.
Yeah, okay. And then also, cool little thing, the Mini is apparently the in thing to do, thanks to Nintendo, making the Nintendo Minis and the SNES Minis.
Okay.
SNK, I guess, is going to make their own little Mini that's also a tiny little arcade cabinet.
Wow.
And I guess you can plug it into TVs and stuff like that. So,
cool.
I mean, there's this... look at this thing.
NeoGeo.
See, like a little arcade cabinet that you can play on here and stuff like that. So, apparently they're going to do a NeoGeo Mini, so... that's actually going to be kind of cool. I don't know if they have the games that are announced. Yeah, so no word yet given exactly what titles will be included. However, the officially released photos hint at a number of classic games from the King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, and Fatal Fury franchises, as alongside classics like Metal Slug. So
Okay, cool.
here's some pictures here. Yeah, see, oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
This little thing.
Yeah, that is cool.
Oh dang, alternate color. I like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. There you go. So, I don't know. Depending on the price of it, I may pick one up myself. So.
Alrighty. Well, anything else?
Well, Shoegazer Jimmy does mention that Capcom did say that they're working on 2 major titles that will be launching next year.
Did they?
That will be announced at E3. Yeah.
Really?
But they didn't say it was a fighting game.
Oh,
So it could
wow.
be anything, right? I mean, they've already announced Mega Man 11, so I don't know if that counts as one of them.
Okay.
But if it is a fighting game, I don't want it to be a new Vampire Savior. Again, for reasons why you don't want Q to show up in anything ever again, right? So you don't want Q to show up in anything. I don't want QB to be coming back in anything. I mean, a new Rival Schools, that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
I'd be down with a new Rival Schools, but again, like, God,
Just let them rest.
if they
Let
did a
those
new Rival
characters
Schools,
rest.
just like let me help with that, because
Yeah.
I have such cool ideas for new Rival Schools. I have such cool ideas for that game. Anyways,
So
it would have to be another crazy team crossover game. You know what I mean? And it'd have to be that way. But then, like I said, I'm always frustrated that those games like King of Fighters, they have their teams and you don't have to play the teams.
Yeah, the team actually doesn't matter.
The team
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like, I would want to make it so that the team actually matters, so that Rival Schools, you do play this school versus this school versus this school. And I would do it by having it so that each of the characters naturally complement each
Sure.
other. So they are a character, you know
makes
what I
sense.
mean? So I think it would be really cool. So anyways.
Well, why don't I want Q to show up? Because I think his knees are going to be backwards. Basically the reason.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think he's not going to have cross-up stomp, and he's not going to have pressure after anything, and his stand fierce is not going to be an overhead anymore, and basically that he'll be Alex.
Right. Well, Macross, that cabinet that's behind David, I would use it. I have it all cool set up and everything like that. But unfortunately, every time I turn on the TV, it kills everybody on stream because there's this weird high-pitched tone to it that I don't hear, that a lot of people do. But if I do ever get my Super Gun set up with Tetris, the Grandmaster, that's where it's going automatically. The reason why I don't want a new Darkstalkers is because I don't think anybody can do it right. I don't think anybody understands Darkstalkers properly, because to them it would just either become this really stupid, ridiculous sex game. Like Felicia's would just be like boob physics all over the place, like way more than it should be, you know what I mean? Like super exaggerated boob physics. Or
That would be hilarious.
right. Yeah, exactly. Or the game would become super violent, because that's what they think Darkstalkers is. It's just going to be like bloody and like. But the thing about it is, like I said, and you know, I know I've offended a few people saying this, but you know, the characters in Mortal Kombat are all kind of douchey enough that you don't mind watching them get dismembered. But like, I don't want to see all of the Darkstalkers character get dismembered in gruesome fatalities. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see, you know, Rico and BB Hood get like chopped in half and stuff like that. They do get chopped in half in the game, but it's very cartoon. It looks like a cartoon, you know, like meat bone kind of thing like that, you know. But that's like the extent of it, right? You don't want it to be the ultra. So the thing about Darkstalkers is there's this super blend of humor. Right? Like Lord Raptor grabbing you, turning you into a basketball. He gets a basketball jersey and he dunks you. That's literally one of his moves, right? So there's a mix between humor and violence, like Bishamon slicing you in half and everything,
violence,
and sexuality, like Felicia, who's not even really like super sexy character, but more Morrigan style, right? And then there's also a really, really good mix of sadness in the game.
For sure.
Like you have the stage of Victor in Darkstalkers 3 and Vampire Savior, which is literally like the back alleyway like these houses, and the music is just really somber, and all of Victor's storyline is that he's lonely, he's sad, and you know, because no one accepts him. And so there's this beautiful mix between all of that stuff, and it also has you know, you read that article by, I forgot what his name, Richard Lee, I think it is, or I forgot his name, but the art eater, where he talks about Darkstalkers and the principles of animation and how it's like the perfect, it is still the best animated game. Yes, Third Strike has better graphics and higher animation sprites and really high quality, but the cartoon animation aspect of Darkstalkers is unparalleled, in my opinion. And so it's just like this product that I think any modern interpretation of it would just taint it so badly. Unless you got that person and the right budget to really, really build it back into the glory that is Darkstalkers. And if they can't do that, I don't want to see any Darkstalkers. Let's just put it that way.
Sounds fair to me. Wow, in Sasquatch's ending, did he really kill all humans?
Did he? I can't remember now. I never think about the way that the games, I never think about the endings anymore.
Yeah, same. I don't know anything
Dude,
about it.
I mean, honestly, I would love it if Arxis could make the game graphically.
Yeah.
But even Arxis games haven't done anything the way that Darkstalkers would look
I feel like that'd be very tough.
Yeah, because I mean, like literally, you know, the way everything always works is invisibility. That's how you do a lot of 3D games, right? Necalli has both of his hair at all times. You just can't see one or the other because they just turn it invisible, right? But they're both there the entire time. So with someone like Lord Raptor, his leg can turn into a chainsaw or a buzzsaw, or it could be this giant bone coming out of his elbow, or he can have his ribs coming out here like that. I just don't, like Quetzal?
Very tough.
Like how the hell are you going to do Quetzal? Everything changes into a different machine and all. I just don't know how you would do him in 3D, to be honest with you. The only way they could do it is if Arxis did it and literally just drew every sprite one by one in 3D and just, you know, did it that way. But still, would they have like 7 buzzsaws on his leg that are invisible at all times? You know, I don't know. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, Skullgirls is like that because it's a 2D game.
Yeah, it's a
so
sprite
absolutely,
game.
Yeah. If they made it a sprite game, then then anybody can do that, right? Yeah. No, not everybody can do it well,
course,
but you know, still.
Well, anything else going on here?
Nope, that's all it is. So.
Alrighty. I guess that should be about it. In that case. Oh, some people wanted me maybe to talk about whatchamacallit.
That didn't help me.
Net neutrality.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So the question specifically on Twitter was whether we should be alarmed about the current state of affairs and whether they really will pass getting rid of net neutrality. That stuff's all over. That is how it is already, and
that passed already. Right?
It's not even passed necessarily. It was up to the feds to decide how to treat it, and they decided to blow it up. So that is going to occur. It'll start next month, and the only way to get around it is if Congress or the president / Congress and the president were to decide to change things. So that won't happen anytime soon. So it's not like, I don't think it's going to last forever. Instead, what I think we have to do, and I also don't think that we have to not fight it and just accept it, because that's for sure bad, even though I think it's a losing fight in the short term. But you gotta fight to elect people who will be in tune with this. There are a lot of people, basically everybody in our generation and younger, which at this point is people in their 40s and younger, right? So that's a lot of people could be running for Congress, and in fact are. So it's an electoral game. It's a slow game. It's not fast. States to some degree can do their own thing, but states don't control interstate commerce in the same way that the federal government does. So while they can demand that some things occur locally, they can't sort of make any blanket statements that will apply to everybody. So if your local state is like a state that is in tune with net neutrality, then maybe you're lucky. But if you're not, and many states are not, then you're boned. So it's not great to rely on. It's also bad news from a just general economy standpoint to have different states have different rules, because then there's a lot more, there's like even more red tape and regulations to consider. You got to consult with a lawyer to know who even has what laws in what state. that is really difficult for a lot of things. So typically, like, different states do have different laws on a lot of stuff, but that said, there are lots of things that business leaders and lawyers and legislators have come together to like stabilize across states in very similar ways for many different things relating to industries. Not all, obviously, but for many things, and for those things, there's more efficiency and better business and so forth. So it kind of, while, you know, California could say that you can't discriminate between what happens in internet traffic in California itself, you know, a lot of California companies are trying to do business with people in Texas, which is going to have different laws. So it's just not. Really, we need to change it federally. So, yeah, Sweet House, was that you? Okay. I don't be too concerned when it comes to people like James and me. I don't expect. We basically do work on Twitter and on Twitch and YouTube, and Twitch and YouTube have enough cash and enough influence that I think that they will probably not be impacted too negatively by the lack of net neutrality. So, you know, if they're forced by ISPs to have to pay extra to get all of their traffic through, I think they do that because they're backed up by just Amazon and Google have a lot of money, and I feel like so for us, I'm not terribly concerned. I'm much more concerned about other people, though, and well,
like,
I mean,
example.
Somebody wants to sell something online and they make a website. But instead, like, ISP X has decided that no, only their widget seller is going to get priority, right? Or maybe Twitter. Well, I guess one possibility is that like maybe YouTube and Amazon have a bidding war over traffic to get to your house, and YouTube wins. So now YouTube gets to you faster than Twitch, and so Twitch is just buffering all the time, and it's crappy to watch. That's certainly possible. You know, a lot of the rules are out of there when this kind of thing comes up. So it's really, I mean, it's hard to know exactly what it's going to mean for us because we haven't explicitly not had net neutrality for a long time. We didn't have, like, it wasn't real either way. But that said, companies weren't trying to blow it up. So as soon as it seemed like they were trying to blow it up, then we tried to get net neutrality in, and now for the first time, we're actively not going to have it in a way that people, like companies, are probably going to take advantage of. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. It's hard to say. We're in new territory. Bummer.
Also, what about the someone also mentioned up there the new ruling on sports betting?
Yeah, right. So the Supreme Court made a decision on this case with respect to New Jersey. That said that rules against sports betting are struck down. That doesn't mean that sports betting is legal in every state. Instead, you can't make it illegal. So it might not sound like a big difference, but it does matter legally. But you know, it's probably going to end up that there's going to be a ton more. Yeah, I would think. I would think. Yeah.
Do you think that's going to benefit or hurt esports?
Esports. It's a good question, I guess. I mean,
there's all that fantasy football, fantasy, you know, all that stuff. Like, fantasy football is obviously a huge market.
I mean, a lot of money in it, if that's the question. Yeah,
so,
no, for sure.
Do you think like fantasy Overwatch, fantasy League of Legends, you know, that kind of stuff?
Well, that stuff does exist, but not on major levels yet. So sure, absolutely, that stuff will exist. Is that? I mean, so for sure, there's more money. Absolutely right. Is that the kind of thing that's beneficial? Is daily fantasy sports like a beneficial thing to have? I don't know. It's a kind of a different question, I guess. I'm not really sure if it's good in any kind of like subjective sense for that to be the case. But definitely more money for sure.
I just want to see the betting stations to be like, all right, the next match is about to start in like a minute. Dying on an even number. I'm betting dying on an even number.
Why not?
I bet KO on an odd number. I mean, people do that already.
Well, so I should point out that this
first hit is gonna go to.
It's not. I wouldn't say that this doesn't like make esports betting legal necessarily. There are still questions in many states as to whether you can even hold a tournament there for money.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right? It might be considered, probably is considered a game of chance in at least some states. So for those states, probably not going to change anything legally. Probably still can't have tournaments there. Probably still can't have online events there. And you know, but in states where it is legal, maybe maybe esports betting will be legalized and pumped up. Maybe.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a weird time, man. Law's in a super weird state. Super weird state. There's a lot of... It's kind of always like this, I guess.
A lot of things are in a weird state right now.
Yeah, but it kind of especially at a head right now when there's such polarization in the country, because that
we didn't talk about
that really
that
has a big
either.
difference with respect to, like, there's really different ideas in terms of how laws should be enforced, let alone how they should look. So
yeah, but we didn't talk about
What do you
that
got?
either.
What?
Well, they revealed there was that one thing that came out and said that Evo Japan lost $1 million US.
Right.
Because obviously they couldn't charge so they had to give out
Right.
prizes. They had to grant out a whole new venue because they couldn't. That room that the finals took place was supposed to be the venue for Evo Japan, apparently.
Ooh.
Like that was supposed to be.
That would not have worked.
Yeah, so they had to go rent out the new venue, so they had to spend a lot more
Gotcha.
money on that because that place was super expensive. So they said, the magazine reported that they reported back $1 million loss.
Loss.
Yeah, like 100 million yen, basically.
Right.
Yeah, so that they.
This does not mean how much money the event cost.
Right.
That's how much
just
they lost overall.
Yes.
So we're talking major expenses.
Yeah. I've seen some people being skeptical, like there's no way they could have lost that much money. But I mean, this is renting out a big old place, right? And then the finals venue is also a big old place, like literally in Akihabara, which I can't even imagine is very cheap. Renting
would
out
not think so.
space in Akihabara.
I can't imagine nowhere there is cheap.
Yeah,
It's an expensive
exactly.
city
So
in terms of space.
I again, people who are skeptical about Evo Japan possibly even being able to lose that much money, I think just don't understand the scope of it, right?
so. Yeah.
But at the same time, what do you think that means? Do you think that there will be another Evo Japan, or do you think that they'll just be like, well, we tried, folks?
I do think so. They must have known what those costs would be the day of, and the day of after Street Fighter ended. I think Markman pretty heavily implied that they were going to have another one next year.
Yeah, I mean,
But at that point, maybe you don't know what all the losses are going to be, but you got a decent idea by that point. I feel like what the numbers are going to look like, especially because they could not take like event fees, right? So you're not like waiting to count how many people came in.
I don't remember if they just said that you couldn't do a venue fee, or I know you couldn't. So they had to give prize money for each of the events, and the prize money had to come from the event. Because you can't do that $10 for each of the games.
Right.
But I think there was still a venue fee, wasn't there?
Oh, I thought there was not.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I believe there was not.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that's... A lot of people were there.
Yeah.
So if they could have charged a venue fee, an event fee, or whatever it is, then, no venue fee.
Okay.
Then, you're talking maybe not about a profit, but you're talking about not losing a mill.
Right.
So...
Exactly. But I mean, here's the other question. Some people were saying then, why not instead take that money then and run an event in New York for like another Evo on the East Coast?
That doesn't sound right to me, man. I mean, maybe not Japan. Maybe that's like one of the worst countries to put it in. But I think the idea is to try to expand globally, and there already is. They even called it Evo North America, right? It's not called Evo. No, it's called Evo World. My bad. So like if they were to put it in Taiwan or Hong Kong,
right.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, maybe just not put it in Tokyo, right? Put it in.
Maybe just not in Tokyo. Maybe it's in Hokkaido.
Put it in Osaka, right? So, because also I was told, like, just from people who live in Japan, that Osaka obviously is not Tokyo, so they have more wider spaces, so they could probably have bigger venues, and it probably wouldn't cost as much as it would in Tokyo. So.
I mean, I can't imagine what that huge space in downtown Tokyo cost. I mean, absurd numbers.
Right.
I'm
in the middle of a mall.
In the middle of a popular mall.
Right.
Like, it's just, it must have been astronomical.
Right. Evo Korea. That's actually an interesting
That makes
idea.
sense. That makes all the sense, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be sad because obviously being in Akihabara, being close to there, I could go to Hey Arcade and play some Super Turbo, but obviously we didn't get a chance to see Osaka, and I heard Osaka's just beautiful and everything like that, so it'd be cool to see that, but I would miss my Hey Arcade ST so bad. Oh, God, that was so much fun.
Wait, did we talk about the Marvel patch?
The rumor of the Marvel patch, you mean?
I heard it was real, but that it only changed some very slight
Wait, was there a patch that came out?
That's what I heard. I'm only talking. I read like 5 tweets about it.
I saw that there was a rumored, like, yes, the game is going to get updated now, like you'll see at E3, because they were just waiting for Infinity War before they could announce a bunch of stuff.
Folks
and all
are
this
saying
other
it's
stuff.
out.
But, there is actually a patch.
What does I looked on SRK just before we started, and I didn't see anything
Evo
about
Wakanda? Yo,
Evo Wakanda.
I would be so
Hilarious.
down for that, dude.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. 10 gigabyte update rumored? What?
Well, that's the one that's coming out that's rumored, that's supposed to, like, here's these new characters and they were waiting for infinite. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening, guys. Like,
I would be
It's
flabbergasted.
not happening.
I even checked the MVCI Twitter again, and sure enough, the last tweet from it is still the one that announces the patch from January, and the last retweet action is from February.
Right, okay,
So
okay.
that hasn't changed.
But I wonder what the hell this...
So this patch removed the DRM that they had on it. So is it only for
PC?
PC? Did it make any game changes at all?
It came out today. Huh. Okay, yeah, I don't know. It's large because sometimes patches replace the entire game. Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
I have no idea what the hell is going on, so...
They fixed character select lag, really? Of all the things. That, I feel like that would almost make me more mad.
Right? Yeah.
If
That's
they
like
had a chance to patch and they fixed select screen lag.
I feel like that would be like getting 1 point for getting 7th place at a CPT ranking.
Yikes!
Oh, man.
All right. Well, maybe we'll talk about it more next week if there's more info and
we
so
find
forth.
out more information. See. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun game for sure.
Do we think it's possible to build up strong enough following? Sword normals, it's really hard. Not just because, it's mostly just because there's just so much negativity to attach to the game. There's people that I know who don't even play fighting games anymore, who are like older and don't even play fighting games. Like, when they hear bad things about Marvel, they're like, good, it deserved it. And like it's just, there's just this belief that this game deserves to be shat on, basically. And obviously the effort that was put into the game doesn't feel good at all.
Obviously.
So yeah, there's a lot of people that are gonna feel that way. The gameplay, I think, is phenomenal, but
Agreed.
you're not going to get that past a lot of people, right? A lot of people are just not going to bother to take the time to see it. So plus another thing is then when it's on stream, the game is butt ugly, and
Not
so
good
like
looking.
it's just not going to get anybody excited about watching the game. So
I'm walking around with my Tager, totally obscuring my Waldstein assist, and I'm walking around with Waldstein with his giant arms, playing against characters from other games that are like much smaller, like obviously not the same game, for sure. And it's fine. Nobody says anything.
right, yep.
It's not. It doesn't look good, but
Right.
hey. That doesn't matter that much to me either way, but
see,
boy.
the thing about it is that at least like the presentation, the graphics, that's flashy looking,
It
you
is
know what I
flashy.
mean?
It
Like there's
certainly
nothing
looks better than Marvel Infinite.
Right,
I'm not-
right.
I'm
I mean,
not
like Marvel Infinite,
that.
like even when you activate the reality gem or the space gem, like it's not exciting. Like the box is like exciting for you if you know what the gameplay is, but like there's just nothing cool looking about it. Like they could have zoomed in on the character in the box a little bit just to create claustrophobia or
would've
something.
been cool,
like
dude.
some things,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There's a lot of things they could have did that they just, there's just the presentation is not strong,
No,
you know what I mean?
Not
So,
strong at all.
Yeah.
Not strong at all.
Like I would imagine imagine if you activated the box and the person who got caught in the box, like the screen would rotate so he would be closer, and like as you move closer it would come back this way, and if you pass over it would kind of do like this kind of thing and have the box kind of like be focused in the center of the screen.
You're talking about spending some real money on that.
Yeah, I know, but it's like if they did something like that, that would be kind of cool. It'd be weird to control, but at least we would get used to it and there'd be something interesting, like there's just a lot of presentation stuff that they could have did in that game. But
You are right. Can't say anything about that.
Dude,
I just want to play fun fighting games,
and
though.
Trotsky
That's all I
DM
got.
says it right. DBFZ, by the way, it's FZ, DBFZ, shows how far presentation and making a love letter gets you.
Absolutely
So,
right. Gorgeous game.
Always remember fuzz. It's fuzz. So DB fuzz. That's how I always remember the order. because a lot of people put ZF by accident. So if I just remember fuzz, then I always know it's FZ. So DBFZ.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Sub hype. Thank you.
Hey. All right. Well, anyway, let's roll.
Okay. All right.
Thanks a lot for hanging out. I'm going somewhere this weekend. It's gonna be cool.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's gonna be a good weekend for myself. Are you doing anything?
This weekend I'm probably just gonna be relaxed.
Nice.
I will probably do an unchensor either tomorrow afternoon or the next afternoon after that. I can kind of do a little bit of a hint on what my topic is. I really want to talk about. I came up with a way that I think you could save one player online for fighting games. I think I came up with a way that would actually work and make people have fun online again instead of just the rank stuff. And I almost guarantee everybody will get mad at me.
Oh, all right. Sounds like a good unchensor.
Everyone will probably be getting mad at me.
And then, of course, we will be in...
Close to Chicago.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the city. My bad. Anyway, we'll be in Combo Breaker the following week.
Okay. Alrighty. I had it all queued up.
This has been really good, by the way. I've been eating tacos the whole time from my favorite taqueria. Taqueria Jalisco Numero Dos.
I want to give it a nice swift boot so it'll be a taco kick.
Thanks, Peter.